off of back-to-back big moves for the overall market going into the weekend. It has been chop fest overall, depending on where you're looking within the market. We're going to talk about a few areas coming up here. I want to focus a little bit on some of the retail names that have bounced back a little bit today ahead of what is to come later in the week. Remember, Walmart, Home Depot, the big two that will kick off retail earnings tomorrow. However, we will get a reading as well on October retail sales coming up tomorrow before the open as well. So we'll get into some of the retail names, some of the tech names having a bit of a rebound and recovery here this afternoon as well, along with some defensive names that have come back to life after 2 days basically to the downside to end last week. DWAC, not a defensive name, but obviously having a big afternoon here as well ahead of an apparent announcement that's going to come tomorrow from former President Trump. Here's a look at how the market is shaping up right now. Just seeing a Citron tweet on FTX. Well, that's a first. So Citron tweet just coming across on FTX there, heads up. 0.4 for the S&P, 0.57 for the Dow, the NASDAQ 0.4 as well, all in positive territory, so good to see. Look at this move, 3% downside for crude oil today. Bit of a slide on continued hopes that if the Fed kind of puts the foot on the brake a little bit, the economy will be a little bit better off. 1% with Bitcoin here, 2% for Ethereum in the red. Here's what I was talking about before. One note from the watch list this morning, now 9% for Hasbro to the downside, off a double downgrade for Hasbro from Bank of America this morning, going to underweight from buy. These ones, though, healthcare stocks having a really good day. Moderna, they're up 6%. Biogen, 4.8% if you missed it this morning. Roche over in Europe, some disappointing results on an Alzheimer's treatment that they're working on. So some of these Alzheimer's related stocks getting a bit of a bit. These are the semiconductors, though. So the entire group basically in positive territory. AMAT, LRCX, the only ones downside right now. Hardware equipment makers and software names. That's what I'm trying to say. Basically flat on the day. But tech stocks, the most influential group at this point this afternoon. Hope your afternoon is going well. Welcome back in as we take you right through to the close. Take a sec if you haven't. Hit the like, guys. Make sure you're subscribed as well as we continue to bring you all of the content for free on YouTube. We'll get into a little bit of a review at this point, as we do always early in the afternoon. Talk a little bit about the opportunities that were available for you this morning at the open. Make sure you're joining us every single day at 8:30. We get you set and ready for the open every day. Neil's going to lead the way today. Apparently he's very cold because he's blowing on his fingers right now, but it's not bad. It's fine. It's what it always is. Here comes Neil with a look at one of his trades.
Yes, your trade of the day brought to you by Day Trade the World. As always, it's going to be Alibaba here, and it is a little bit chilly in the studio here. But at the end of the day, sometimes you don't get your A+ setup. Now, I liked some dip buys on some of the Chinese ADRs. They were all gapping to the upside on some positivity. There was meeting Biden and Xi, and then seeing some opportunities gapping up across the board. I think JD was up almost 5% pre-market. Before we even started trading, Alibaba was looking strong as well. So I did like JD at 50. I ended up missing that. But I want to go to Alibaba because this is a chart that over the last couple of weeks has been gapping all over the place. I have a 60-minute up here, but it's just gap up, gap down, gap up. There is some higher support that kept coming in. And when you gapped up this time, I was simply looking at this little channel, previous highs the week before. You had this 72 resistance, about 71.50 to 72, where you had this nice little channel. And I'll tell you, Alibaba, it's not just a matter of that it came to the downside at the open. Clearly, the short would have been fantastic if you just shorted off the highs. But I was looking for the dip buy in front of that 72 area. And the issue when you have a bit of a target area for support, and it might not be that hard 72, is if you catch the falling sword, which is exactly what happened to me. I had my 72 bids out there very early, locked and loaded and ready to go. You get this candle on a 3-minute at the open. So immediately first feels like, whoa, let's take a second. We understand this could be going to 71.50 before it bounces. Let's not add to it till we see it make a little bit of a bottom. And as a matter of fact, when it did catch that bottom above 71.50, reclaim 72, I jump back in, add to my position back in at that 72 level, and then it snaps, gets to about 72.40, couldn't even get to 72.50, and snaps back down. So at this point, I'm saying it was probably a little bit too violent getting in the first time. Let's trim a little bit off here because clearly the bottom of this range might actually get tested. And if I was a little bit more clean at catching the bottom originally, maybe I don't do that. But I decide, okay, let's back off a bit, see if we can't get a good place to add to it. But I don't get the add when it holds that 71.50 level. You can't change the past in that situation. Regardless of whether I was able to add back into it or not, I'm still going to adhere to the fact that it is downward trending, takes them out when it gets to VWAP. It then broke VWAP here, and I'm looking for a 72.75 break that'll get me into this range. I don't think it gets to 74, but I'm at least thinking that channel 73.5. So I do want one more leg out there to try and hold for a bigger move. It doesn't happen. But this time, when we get a chance at the bottom, especially during lunchtime when things are a little bit more calmed down, when things slow down, you can definitely be patient and get the in that you want. And that's exactly what happens when it retraces all the way back in, tries to get down to that 71.50, wicks the bottom, I get in, breaks the channel, I add to the position on the way up, and then we're playing it into VWAP with the idea to hold it once again for that 73.5. So all those times we're buying off the bottom, this time a little bit more clean, and we're looking to get some out while still maintaining that core position to see if we get the bigger move. It tests a third time where we're buying in front of those lows. This time it happened on a death candle again. Not really a death candle, but a pretty big momentum candle to the downside. So I did back off on adding to it too aggressively in here, and then it's a more slow grind past noon into VWAP. But each time, getting a little bit more discretionary either with how we get in or making sure that we hold for a little bit more growth. At this point, there is still a chance for it to break out. However, gotta note, the market is breaking highs when we are not able to get past VWAP. So you've got a stock which rejected the open, has found a resistance at 72.75. This is the thing about being a little bit counter trend because you're catching a falling knife in this particular case. So what you have to do when that starts happening to you, even if you like the long and you're gonna be in it, is as it bounces off those lows, make sure you're getting yourself a good price, always better each time it tests, and pay yourself out in case that trend continues. Because the longer the market breaks highs without this being able to get above even VWAP, you know it's going to likely come back against you. You can always make money if there is a structure to your trading, even if you happen to be a little bit counter trend. Identify a key price area. Start being very, very patient with your entry points. Even if your first fills come in a little bit too aggressively, you can always back off a little bit and then get yourself a better entry price and then stick to your plan. That's the key. Able to stick to the plan here, so no worries on Alibaba, your trade of the day.
And a good one for Alibaba, a good one for all of the Chinese ADRs today to the upside on those positive comments that came from not only the meeting between Biden and Xi, but also more comments from the Chinese officials on the COVID policy and putting some more liquidity into the real estate sector. Make sure you grab that every single day. That is the link you need for the watch list, guys. Had all of that on it this morning and so much more. Your one-stop shop for pre-market prep. Then you come join us at 8:30. I was just watching Ethereum here. It tried to roll over. This is a 10-minute chart, so it tried to roll over there. But yeah, apparently that Citron tweet saying they are still short Ethereum now. So they're not putting out short reports on equities, if you remember, but I guess crypto is fine. Anyways, let's talk some chips, shall we? We were in the pre-market. That is why, not 2, but 3. Total positive notes, specifically on AMD, but some of the other chip makers were showing a little relative strength in the pre-market anyway, coming off a couple of big days to end last week. If you remember on Friday, though, Intel specifically was downside. JP Morgan came out and downgraded it, was very negative going into the weekend. So that one was a little bit of a laggard this morning. AMD, however, guys, pretty good day so far.
All right, correct, Anoop in the chat. Okay, so hey, welcome back, guys. It's been a great day. I mean, we always say that it's a great day to trade, and I think today is no different. And it does start with AMD. You can see the positions I have on board right now. I actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 longs and 1 short. And unfortunately, Henry, the short is in the mighty Palantir. So we'll have to watch out for that one. But hey, look, AMD was a little bit tricky off the morning. It is the #1 name on here on the sticky note. And I said, let's respect that 73 level. So we hit the level almost on the knot, but we didn't because it broke. And there's the break right down there to 72.70. So, you know, I'm working every single day to try to get better at all of this. You can see that I'm still long now, $1.70 in the money as I hold it back to the day's high. But again, we sort of went long early. We made some money real quick there. It was a real quick 80 cents. But then we tried to respect that 73 level before eventually it breaking. So we got out right there once it broke 74. We averaged back in there at 73.50 all the way down. So that was like, at the end of the day, that was about a 60, 70 cent hit or so there on AMD. But the good thing is, it's going to be hard to see this, but we did get back in right there. There's a green tick, and that was a good trade. Then we reloaded it again at 73.40, and now you're seeing nothing but some upside love for AMD. So we talked about it early. It's on the sticky note, and I really like names that have broken out. So if you're going to look at the daily chart here, there's 70. It's actually the top was like 68. It was more about the 65 breaking as well. You can sort of see here and again, I apologize because sometimes our charts aren't the greatest, but if you draw a line, you know, basically just sort of showing you right there, this diagonal line right there on what exactly we are looking at. Where's my... no, how do I get to, oh, okay, this goes back to the crosshairs like that. So, you know, up, just kept respecting it. There's the break the one day. I mean, it happens on the CPI. So a big move to the upside breaking. And since then, you could draw another one of these fancy lines here at about 68 or 70 right there. So we've taken it out. Now I think we can sort of dance around this 70 line and continue to move to the high side. So AMD is definitely a name that when the market's positive, are we positive right now? We were dancing around. Yeah, well positive now. Up 0.21. You know, you can see here AMD working. No matter where you draw the lines, it's well above some of these levels. Man, that was a tricky trade because you had to hold it against you, obviously, all the way down there to get back to 70. But, oh, man, as these semis go, it seems like the market wants to go with them. So I'm a big supporter here of AMD. I've been long this name, and I'm going to try to be long every day until we get to some more key levels, which the next one is kind of right here at 75. That is the high of the day. We broke it early, got to 75.30, but just wondering what we do now. Next stop after this, of course, looks to be 80, but good trading on AMD today.
Yeah, well, who'd have thunk it? I wouldn't have last week that, you know, I'd go for the dip buy in AMD. It would be my worst stock, and then I'd be long all day in Intel. So things have changed, and when I got stopped out of AMD, it was impossible. It's at the same level. I was down at that 73, so I thought it was worth the defense. As I was getting out of this one, or getting out of it, I had to recognize the fact that it is what it is. At that particular time, Intel was holding the low. So you saw AMD sort of break. It was gapped up. You saw it break the bottom. But that entire time it's pulling back, Intel was holding the channel and just staying inside of the range. The market was coming back in. The NASDAQ was coming back in. I saw NVIDIA and AMD pulling back pretty heavily, making new fresh lows in the morning session, and Intel wouldn't budge. So if it's not going down when the market's falling, and it did break, and this also broke out. Like it is, you closed above the 50 period, and then had an even stronger day on Friday after that on Intel. Intel was breaking trend. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So once I saw that, I decided to go long in Intel 3030. It then broke the high of the day. I added to it at that position, took it to almost 31s, 3090, and then when it dipped back down into 3050, bought the dip buy. That was also VWAP on the 3-minute chart, and then got back up to 31. Did miss as we're in a meeting, getting back over to this VWAP again at 3060. But I'll probably go back to the well every single time and keep buying dips into this afternoon on Intel. If it breaks 31, that's looking like a break, like another long. If the market can continue to hold these highs, the high of the day is 30.99. I'm not seeing a particular reason why I wouldn't like that break at this moment, unless something crazy happens in the market, we turn red. I don't necessarily like taking a break out of the high of the day on the stock if the market's turning red. But unless that happens, I'm looking for the break at 31 in Intel. I'll be buying the dip at VWAP. Should have been doing it all day long, but missed a couple of those at lunchtime. So, yeah, things have changed for me on Intel. It's now setting up that it's in a bit of a momentum swing to the upside, so got to be looking for longs on this thing.
Just watching TSM here, Taiwan Semi, no reaction yet, but Tiger Global just announcing a stake in TSM. So heads up on that, but as I said, not really doing anything. Amazon still red here, under 1% now, on the way to the upside in the right direction anyways. This morning, if you joined us, we were talking about that Bank of America US #1 list that they actually took Amazon off of. And then at 12:15 p.m., you can see here 10,000 layoffs announced, more cost-cutting measures coming from Amazon, according to the New York Times.
So yeah, I mean, we saw that sort of run happen on Thursday. Were you here? You were here Friday. Yeah, it was Thursday. Were you here Friday?
I was here on Friday.
Okay, so it was Thursday.
It was Thursday that I wasn't
then.
here to miss the story.
That's what it was. So we did see a big move. I just want to get the date right here. We did see a big move up, and I'm not right here on Thursday, November 10th. Nice little move to the upside right there. There it is right here at 1040. We saw this movement. I mean, again, the stock was at 94, ripped all the way to 98. Like that's in the middle of the day with increased volume. So then today again, you know, kind of a similar move, almost at the same time again. 1030 again comes out. Wicked move up about $2 to the upside. We let it fall back down, took the long before eventually getting out, dumped it there. Not great. We tried to short again here, Amazon, 99.50, just kind of believing that might have been sort of the high at that point, right into there. That worked. We had some good trades, but not really. Then it came back in, and then we're just like, forget about it. Let's go long into 100, and that's what we have right now. So we made all of our money back, taking this 50 long into 100, and my best outs here are 100 flat. It broke above, but not for very long. Went to about $100.20. You can see that's exactly where I'm long now. As the market fades, though, out, hits this 50 period, and now is trying to trade underneath it, the market could easily go red. So Amazon, one more try. I am bidding again down here in the 50s. It's getting close for another reload. And then if we break back down below 40 and change, that's where my outs are. So yeah, back down in below this area where we sort of got stopped out the first time is where we will get out of Amazon. That looks like a little bit better out down there at 32, 33. You can probably hold on to it for there. But there it is. As Amazon pulls back, we'll try another long at 50, but not for very long, as that's something that we're looking at. But Amazon, hey man, I've already said why I think there's room to the upside here. You have Black Friday coming. We have holiday shopping. Regardless, the worst study that I saw was like about 18% down or so in holiday spending. Look, you, myself, and everybody, depending on how well you've done in the market, mortgage rates, everybody's situation is different. But I feel like people will still flood to Amazon to buy product. And hey, they're making money every sale. I'm maybe not every sale, but most of their sales. So Amazon, I like it. I still think it works. And I'm going to stay long Amazon. And let's see what happens at that 100 level. I'm long again at 99.50 if it comes back. And before I ignore all the super chats, because we're not ignoring them, $20 for gloves or something for Neil. Thanks so much, Cyberspeed there.
Trader TV
yeah,
trading
cheers
gloves.
for that one. Trading gloves. DWAC, what's up, Super Freeze? You had our back last week as well, so we'll talk about that. I will talk about DWAC. Good job, man. 80 cents in the money. We definitely like that. And that's back-to-back jacks for you. So hopefully you're doing well. Thank you so much, Super Freeze, for that one. I hope you can buy all the Super Freeze you want with that DWAC position. The only problem with is DWAC on there? No, it's not. So let me just call it up quickly here. The only problem with DWAC for me, guys, and then we'll go back to Brendo and talk about, or you want to talk about Amazon? Okay, we'll do that in a second, is the fact that I don't know enough about the situation. It's just, if you're holding out hope that this name has a catalyst in President Trump running again, it's just, if he doesn't, then you just have to have your out. And I mean, the thing is, when it's coming out tomorrow, I believe. I don't know, again, if someone can confirm it. He's making an announcement tomorrow. I don't know if it's pre-market, post-market, during market. I hope during market.
That would be way better.
Of course, for us, for trading. And then we won't be in it, and then we can react to it. I just think when you're in a position like DWAC, where's the bottom if he says NEPA, which is no, then back to 16, 17. But again, could we go lower than that? Because again, if he says no, I don't know how much of DWAC is relying on that. I mean, the True Social, we don't have it here in Canada. I don't know enough about it to say it's going to live with or without Trump. I'm going to say it probably doesn't live without him, because that's such a big platform. And then with everything that Elon's doing with Twitter, apparently daily active users are ripping on Twitter. So I don't know if that's the case or not. But for me, DWAC has a lot of news-driven risks in it. So congratulations to anybody that's long. You may want to trim before tomorrow, but if you think that you have some sort of insight on what he's doing, then you sort of have the answer to your own question.
Yeah, well, the other thing about that, too, is like is the deal, like when is it actually de-SPACing? Like is the deal even going to happen with it? So there's a lot to ask there. The only thing I'll say with Amazon is I had a couple of trades off of the lower high because it was relatively weak, and then when the news came, that second piece of news, which I guess we already knew about some cost cuts, I got out, reversed, and scalped it. But it's 101 that I've been waiting for, and I'm still sitting there. If we make a fresh high in the market, I'm waiting at 101 to short the 101 level on Amazon. I'm trying to be patient with it. I did check down early in the day and make a little bit on Amazon, shorting it. So shorting at the lower levels because it was relatively weak, but once that broke, I said, forget it. I'm waiting till 101 on Amazon. Someone just asked me, and we're not going to talk about SoFi, so, well, I'm going to talk about SoFi. SoFi broke 6.6. I got the breakout long. I got a little bit of a scalp out, and my stop is, I mean, it's essentially right here beneath 95. So someone's asking where's the stop. This is a pure breakout trade. I said last week, we take out 6, and I'm going to take the long break on SoFi. So it hasn't been a great one. Really only went like 4 or 5 pennies and now starting to pull back in. But if it dips through like 95 or so, I'd rather wait back at a better price to see if we can cash that one. As we move on, Amazon, I'll be real patient. I don't know if I see anything until we get to 101. Oh, Netflix. Oh, Netflix triple top. It's already breaking down. I was about to say I wanted to try to get a short off the high of the day on Netflix, but it's already fading. Might have missed that.
Yeah, crazy mover today. We'll get to Netflix here in a second, but wanted to mention this because I saw a few people talking about this over lunch. Yeah, interesting report this morning from Mac Rumors coming out saying Apple's work almost wrapped up on this, which would be a competitor to the Quest VR headset from Meta. And they're working on more of the software side now, just finalizing the software side. So Apple putting their stamp possibly on the final or finished product for a VR headset today, guys.
So, I mean, maybe that's why Meta's ripping. I mean, honestly, it's the more players in the metaverse, the better it is for a stock called Meta. So I just feel like that's good, man. If Apple wants to work on that, first of all, we just reloaded Amazon down there. Nice little reload at 58. Now we'll see if it can go back up to the upside. Instantly in the money, a nice little chunk here for Amazon. So let me just take a piece out. There it is. We take a piece out at 74 there, starting to rip up to the high side. Right now, there goes Amazon. There's the reload. Here's the upside move in Amazon. So far, so good on that one. Meta's the #1 stock here, profit-wise for us. And I mean, look at this. Is just we've been reloading all of these dips, right? So here it is. We screwed around with it a little bit early, back and forth, little bit of money. We were always positive on this name, but then there it is, taking off, absolutely taking off. We were holding it against us. You guys remember in the morning, we were waiting for this 112 to break. It only did once, but we sold some and bought some, and it's kind of a net down there. That's kind of when we got dumped out on AMD, but then it just started to take off, and then we reloaded it down here. At this point, these were all 50 periods and stuff like that. We reloaded it down here at 113.50. There's VWAP. We're still well above. Any kind of a dip down here, we're looking. We should have reloaded it there. Any kind of a dip down, good opportunity to buy. I came back in, again, we're gone for about an hour in the midday, came right back in there, sold a piece when I saw where it was, and now it's still working to the high side. Look, I really think that you're not, I mean, I hope not. I don't think you see this again on Meta. I don't think you go back down to 88 bucks here. I mean, they're starting to cut costs a little bit. We talked about them, sort of revamping what their ideas were with the metaverse, and they're still spending a hell of a lot of money. So it's not like that's going to stop. But Zuckerberg has, started to focus a little bit on cost cutting. It's a beautiful move up, and if you don't believe in it, then it's time to get out, because this is a monster move. This is $90 up to $115, so that's like 25% or so or more, about 25% in a matter of a week. So that's a great return. We could lose this easily again if something happens to Meta. You have FTC, you have possible sanctions coming all the time on these guys, advertising, this and that. Have they figured out the iOS so they can, get some more advertising money? There's lots of different things happening with Meta, but I like the fact that Apple's working on that. There's a lot of games that are included in the metaverse already. I can see them going back and forth between headsets again. So to me, the more the merrier, man. I mean, it's Xbox versus PS5 versus all this stuff all over again. I think both can work. And if you like the metaverse, then I think you got to like Meta at some point. Although I'm not rushing to the gate to buy any shares at this kind of a move up. It's already been quite the move. Right here on the day trade, we're $2 in the money right now. And honestly, I said earlier, maybe we get to 114.50. We're at 116 right now. So great calls for Meta today. Let's see if it can continue its upside move.
Yeah, speaking with Apple here, just 150 was a high on Friday on Apple, and you're essentially looking at about the same thing here. I know you have some wicks that are a little bit higher than that, but really, you've just only recently broken it on this last move to the upside. And if we don't hold this level, I can see Apple running into some resistance up at this top. So I need to see it clear, hold back above 150 to really like the long. Otherwise, it's about just sitting back and looking what happened on Friday. This dipped to 148, about 75. Late afternoon, and then rallied a little bit. And then that was the staging point for this move to 150. So that's where I want to buy the dip. It's about $1 lower from where we are right now in Apple. So any longs in Apple for me this afternoon are going to be down here in that 148.75 area, or we need to be reestablishing that 150 top and breaking out from there. So that's all I need to see with Apple. I don't need to be chasing it, 149.88, just beneath 150. If you like the short in the market, I mean, I guess Apple could be a proxy for you right here. But I got Robinhood. I just added Netflix. We're gonna talk Netflix, but I did just get Netflix. I said that was making a bit of a triple top. And then look at the Netflix chart. Like, wow.
I know. I just.
Wow is the only thing to say. So here's the daily. This is, I mean, it's impressive enough on the daily, but I'll zoom out so you can kind of see what it's trying to do, which is fill in this gap from 330. And I mean, if this gets to it's just an impressive run. If this gets to 330, I'll probably be trading that level. I'm not going to say it's going to happen today, but this is what I meant by a triple top. First test, bit of a pullback, wick top, lower high off this 310. So I just grabbed 309.5. It's about $1 off the high of the day here. So if it takes that out, I'm risking about $1.50. If this even tries, it's close to 1-to-1 down here at this consolidation level. But if it breaks this, it wouldn't. I don't think it's getting to VWAP at 301. But it doesn't need to drop $8 for it to be a worthwhile trade. Even if it just gets to 6s and 7s, I want to take my shot here on Netflix. I wouldn't be sitting here saying, oh yeah, short this, short Apple, because if the market's going to fall, hopefully Netflix can go, and then Robinhood I think as well. But yeah, what an unbelievable chart. I tried multiple times to get into this on the bid, and I was just not nearly aggressive enough. But short, and we'll see what happens. I'm not giving it past high of the day.
Yeah, for sure. We had it up this afternoon just because there was no real reason why it's having such a great day, but huge day for Netflix today. Bottom of the board. Well, I mean, maybe we'll retouch these Chinese ADRs because it's been a huge day for some. If you remember in the pre-market, we were suggesting maybe all of them might get a bit off of what was happening in the pre-market, but it's worth noting the EVs specifically from this group, first to go red. But JD.com, I wanted to mention here, guys, because JD still holding on to a 5% kind of day. I mean, Alibaba, we heard about at the top there from Neil, but it seems to be more the e-commerce side that held up a little bit better.
I'm not happy with myself over at JD.com because when we were talking about the morning show, I gave 2 stocks that I liked for a dip buy. And the funny thing about it was I did prefer JD when I originally sat down. I said this, 50-period moving average also happens to be $50. It's much stronger just looking at the momentum since it broke this 46 level. And then you just go back and say, well, Friday's high at 50 as well. It dips into there. Off to the races. This should be almost like a no-brainer dip buy situation. And then you look at what happened with Alibaba, where it's just a heck of a lot trickier at the open. I mean, at the open, this one dips to $50.10 and then bounces clean off of it. Now, it doesn't really follow through that much, but that's about as easy of a dip buy as you're ever going to catch. So I should have been here first. Like a lot of times, I get it, they're the same space, and it's the same function of a trade. One just a cleaner level, and then hence a bit of a cleaner trade. I did have Lucid. Still actually was in Lucid up until the afternoon off that rollover. This is the one I like to the short side simply because when I go to this 15-minute, like here's Friday's high, 13.20. This was also a pretty big gap down when it took out that 13.20, so I like the shorts. Everything on pops into said 13.20 level. It never broke 13 even. Took some out when it got to Friday afternoon support, and then went all the way down to 12.25. I did have a long off of that low, that 12.25, scalped it for a few cents, but when the low broke, I just jumped into the short, reversed it. It did bounce off 12. I tried reloading it. It bounced off 12, actually higher than 12 again, and gave it up when it turned at VWAP. I don't see a trade for myself in the afternoon on Lucid, but this one really fell. I mean, there were a lot of names you saw Alibaba actually go to the downside initially, and same thing with JD.com. And there were a lot of names. Neo was definitely tradable at that open, but at least able to get some loose. And I know Rivian tanked like a rock off your level, Sean. So it's just one of these. It's one of these things. They had that negative catalyst. And ultimately, you had to be in it early. I don't even think I was aggressive enough in trying to get the shorts in Lucid. Did have to pay for the locates. But if anything, I almost think I shouldn't have even bothered trying to catch a bottom on this, because if I asked myself, instead of catching bids at 12.25 and scalping them, that could have been reloading at the top end of that range and just going shorts here and not even abandoning that trend. So I should have stayed short, and that would have done even better on Lucid.
Yeah, we wrote down, the only name that I was looking at was going to be Rivian today, so I don't really have any other short ideas in that, and I'm going to go over that in a second. I just want to give you some new ideas here before they pop off. All right, so we've been getting out of our Amazon trade. We just put that on right in front of you guys at 220. So hopefully you have some of that with us. I'm waiting for a little bit lower. Didn't come in. So we'll just keep on getting it out here to the upside. So a good trade. What just happened? There it is. Microsoft. So this is the levels, some of the levels that I was talking. Ooh, we got part filled. Okay, here we go. So this was an idea I wanted to work with here. Microsoft trying to go up to 244. So we just got there and broke. So now I got to deal with this because I'm actually in this trade. And then my play was like, hey, if it comes back into the 60s, let's get some more long. And that just filled me. So now we're long here at 50, sorry. Mind you here, sorry, getting out a little bit there. 61, sorry, right there. So we'll get some out at 69 as it goes to the upside here. And then we're going to hold. I'm going to put another offer out. Still hard to take some out on the way up as it's starting to go. But again, Microsoft today still red. But, we know how violent this name could be. So if it wants to keep on moving to the upside here, I like it. And I think you do have a potential for it to break this 244. So you're all the way back into here, right back to where we are. It's like the last of the horsemen here to go back up to the upside. That's normally I like to trade against relative weakness and go with it, and short this name. That might be what's right. So I'm starting to right now think about that a little bit and starting to maybe see how aggressive it is. It's just, I like this name. If the market continues to the upside, I believe Microsoft does take out that 244. Now that I'm long, I'm going to cancel my 244. I actually had a bid to break 244 long here on Softy, but that didn't happen. It stopped at 90. Then all of a sudden we got this fill. So we'll take another piece out. We'll see if we can hold about 3/4 of it if we get back up there to 244. I just want to get another piece out here in 70, and then we'll move on from there. So, all right, the only name short that we have is Palantir. We'll talk about that in a minute as well. But for right now, just canceling, looking at some of the orders that we have. AMC still in the money. We're done the rundown. Oh, we were going to talk about Rivian. Let me do that quickly there because we're done the rundown now. So the level that I put on the sticky note today is right here. You can find it at Trader TV. Sean, hey, what the hell? Let's go over it. First of all, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. That's the most important one for us would be the subscribe. We want to have you back every single day. Here's AMD. There's Rivian. Short sell through 36. Report came out today that all these EV companies, we already know this. It's not like it's rocket science, but they all came out and they're all losing money on every car they produce. So with that being the case, as long as cost of capital still remains high, and we know that's true, the interest rates are going up. They're not going down. What's maybe changed, of course, is the language and what to look for forward, but it doesn't put out of the fact that these car companies continue to be burning through cash. And if they can survive over the next year and a half, maybe they'll be a winner. But you want to keep your money there and take that risk? Today it seems like nobody wants to. Down 1.6%, market's up 0.3, and the level that I was looking at was 36, maybe possibly starting this trade at 35. So just like my man over here, Neil, was talking about waiting for Amazon to get to that 101, I think I'm going to do the same thing here with Rivian. Just be as patient as I possibly can. Watch out for Rivian. If we get to that 35 and it starts to scream, then that's a level that I like short, right? It's right into here, 35, there's 36. So I'd rather trade it once we get to those levels instead of right now. So market pulling back. We do have our out very soon here into the low 40s. There it is. We should be out. There it is. We're out now of Microsoft. We'll flush ourselves down the toilet. That's why we do take a little bit of profit. So again, take some out, take some out. A negative trade though. I'm never going to tell you I made money if I didn't, but that's a negative trade for me on Microsoft, but not as bad because we did get some out there on the top side. Let's see what happens now. we want to trade. Like, I want to get into trades for you, but they have to be the right ones.
Yeah, I just got wicked out of one here on Netflix, and I'll probably go. It's a wick top on Netflix. That's me. I told you stop would be at the high of the day. It goes to 311, it stops me out, and then comes right back to the downside. So I'm going to try to jump back in here, give it to the fresh high. I'll take a couple swings at it. The market is coming back down. And I see you, Adam S. He said, speaking of losing trades, how did the Buffalo Bills manage to lose on Sunday? I'm not going to answer the rest of your question because, quite frankly, it was impressive how badly they were managing to blow that game. But, yeah, you know, it happens. I'm not in a good mood about it, but you have to let those things kind of go. Like, you have to have a short memory. In sports, you have to have a short memory in trading. And that's the thing about taking Netflix here. Like, I'm not going to, with the market pulling off the highs, I'm not going to go long at the high of the day on Netflix. I'd rather take shots at a decent risk to reward to try and jump the short side of the trade and see if I can't risk a couple of points, hopefully not $2 on each trade, but a little bit less than that to try and make even a halfway pullback to support levels. So I'm going to jump back in because I made that wick high, but 3 times is usually about the limit that I want to take a level like that. I do still have Robinhood. Hit enter twice there. I do still have some Robinhood from earlier this morning when we were shorting off the 10 level. It bounced off 960. I did miss the reloads in the afternoon, but if we do get any bounces, go back to the 3-minute here. If we do get any bounces back into this consolidation, I think I'll take another shot at it. It doesn't seem like it's going to happen, and I'm just holding for the low of the day on Robinhood. But I would like to be getting back into this one to the south side of the trade. And then Alibaba here, when we started this one off, and it looked like, you know, maybe it had a chance. It breaks VWAP. You can finally get past or test the 73. With the market rolling over, I don't know that this has the juice to it anymore. It feels like it just wants to try to head back down and then take out this 72 quarter. And then I'd be looking for the longs only off that low of the day, which is about 71.60 or so. So I got to be a little bit patient with Alibaba. And I don't want to give this all the way back. It's up 2.5%, but that's a downward trend any which way you cut it. So back into Netflix here again, giving it 2 set high of the day. Somehow SoFi has decided that it doesn't want to stop me out. I think I said to some guys in the chat that, you know, my stop's right beneath this level. My stop's right beneath. Is this going to load up? I'll give you the black chart. My stop is right beneath this 595, so it's managed to bounce off this. And if it gets back above 6, it needs to take out the highs before I'm interested in taking it out. It's a 6 break. I need it breaking 605 before I'm getting these shares out. And then here comes Netflix. I think if I'm not being a fool, then as this comes down, I have to look to take some profit because Netflix is the strongest stock in the universe. No, just not the universe. I'm sure there's something stronger than Netflix. But if it gets to the bottom of this channel, I will take something out, then try to hold the rest for that 305, 306.
Not much, man. I think you might be right. That might be one of the
Something's
strongest.
up more than 7.
Well, not a big name, I don't think. I don't really see that much up more than 7%. I mean, maybe some weed stocks, maybe today.
You're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
No, that's a big one, man.
AMC doesn't count.
Well, AMC, no. How much is AMC up right now?
7.
I'm in AMC.
7.5. No, it's all over the place. Is it moving a lot right now?
Is it?
My quote board's like it's 7.2, 7.5, 7.3. Anyways,
No, it's just because it's so little.
on my quote board, it's DWAC, AMC, Netflix. So big cap, it is Netflix.
Yeah. All right, so like I was like, oh, I'm not going to be so crass here, and I actually waited at 243.70 because I didn't want to wait at 243.69, and that's twice that Microsoft went up to 69 and went down. So I reloaded that position on Microsoft and missed it just by a couple pennies because I was like, I'll just wait for 70, but now we're at that infamous number. Okay, Brendan, what's up?
This was a bit earlier, guys, but still worth mentioning. Big day for Peloton. We talked about it a little bit this morning. 6% plus now. Tiger Global coming out with a bigger increased stake in Peloton.
I don't know why that word crass came.
I've known Sean for, well,
I'm not even sure what that,
I've known you since high school.
My wife uses it.
Well, we were like 14 years old probably. And
high school, yeah, that was about 10 years ago, so yeah.
And we've been trading next to each other for like 20 years. I've never heard Sean use the word crass, and it almost makes me want to, once a day, challenge myself to use a new word every single day. I like that, crass.
I forget my wife uses it all the time. I think it's like to my kids, like, don't be so crass or something.
No, there's nothing wrong with it. Expand that vocabulary. Sometimes sometimes I listen to Sharif in the midday show, and I just feel like I'm not reading enough books.
Because then you feel dumb.
It's easy to feel dumb when listening. The guy is so articulate. It's just, it is what it is. He beat you up.
There you go. You used the word articulate there, so that was good.
See what I did there?
Yep, that was good. All right, 243. So I just want to give Microsoft. So we went long again on Microsoft that we just missed getting out there at 69, and we've already discussed that level. So I'm going to wait now. The last shot on Microsoft, I just want to see here, down here near 243. Again, I feel like if the market rips, this is a name that I want to be in. So with that being said, let's just see where we go. And I mean, I'm honestly pretty fine with this. So let's just see what happens now with Softy. I'm completely fine with giving it where it needs to be on this spot. So let's just go. Let's see what happens here with Softy to the downside. I do want to average in, so we're going to wait for like 243.20. Just going to put some bids there. Hopefully it comes in and fills us. I'm going to put another one. I'm switching I'm using different gateways. So sometimes we can only put a certain amount of orders on there, so we don't layer the stocks. There's like rules to that, obviously. Those of you that know. But there it is right there. So we're going to go a little lower here on Softy. See if we get some more bids. That was pretty good. 30 was pretty good. We missed that obviously, but I don't want 30 rate yet. So let's go right now. That's funny, euthanasia.
That's a good one.
I see that one. I have more positions than the Kama Sutra. Okay, so right now, AMC, Palantir, Disney, Amazon, Meta, Microsoft. Oh yeah, and we're hosting a show.
That could be an animation too.
It's easy, right? Trading's easy. Yeah. DMRC just popped up. Very low volume on this, but just be aware. S3 Partners just out with this stock as their #1 squeezable name right now. So DMRC just popping up there.
Like drop knowledge like that. Like this is our #1 squeezable stock. Like this is the kind of environment that we're in right now.
Hold a second.
No reason.
What am I long right now?
The
#1 squeezable stock is SoFi. No, I'm just
trust me.
I'm joking when I say that. Like that's whatever. But so anyways, just to give some numbers on it, 12 million float. 16, 17, maybe 18, anywhere from 16 to 18% short float. So, I mean, I guess that some of that's in there. I'm on Netflix, by the way. I did get that filled at the bottom of the channel on Netflix, but the first one lost. So before we celebrate this thing flushing itself down the toilet, I did take a hit on it originally and had missed out on all the longs to the upside. So continuation will be down to 305, 306. That was this consolidation right here. Hopefully it can get down to those bottoms. The market is still pulling back, but above 4,000 and still green on the ES and the NASDAQ. Always a chance that these could continue to go. I do like some of these shorts.
Hey, where's my out for
to try to reject some of these highs. But look, I don't mind going over to a name like that and saying, okay, look, are there any setups? Certainly, we understand that it's not a bad. It's not a bad catalyst to the long side for looking at a squeezable name. But this doesn't have. It's got 60,000 in volume right now, right? And you look at what it's doing, kind of in the middle of a top end range. Look, my gut tells me when a stock like this has bounced 50 period and already moved about 40% off that breakout, and like this is your #1 squeezable name as it's making a top at 23.50, maybe somebody's getting out of Dodge up there and they're looking to get out of the last of their shares. Because look at the consolidation up there, and there's not a heck of a lot of interest. So I don't know that that's a move you want to chase. If anything, it probably needs to show you volume on a breakout. If it had more liquidity, I'd be consider fading it off of 23.50. But yeah, I'd be a little bit cautious with that one. Someone's saying the options suck on DMRC. I don't know how much. I mean, it's not doing any trading volume, so I can't imagine the options are doing too much either. So Netflix is starting to come down, but I want a couple more dollars on the rest of it. Amazon, I don't know if. Oops, I can't use that chart. Amazon started to pull back in here. And it's got support down at VWAP 98.50. At least it had. That's what I was shorting earlier. So this has a chance. If I don't ever get to see 101, it'll be frustrating that I didn't take anything else short. But yeah, 98.50 would be interesting for me if it were to get down there. And I know you guys are watching AMC there. You're still in AMC, right?
Yeah, but I got a whole shit ton of more stuff here.
Okay. No, I was going to say, like, AMC, it's kind of holding 770. If this gets back above VWAP, I had been looking at a clean 8 break. I don't have an order out for that. I had it at lunchtime. I've canceled that order since it got below VWAP, but I'd probably put it back in if we start to see some volume pick up. That was a clean lower high at $8, and the original break this morning was at 8.
Okay. Wow. All right. We are. I don't know. We're. You know, if you thought that we had a lot of positions before, we now have the same positions, but a lot more shares. So it is a little nerve-wracking right now for your boy. Just to try to manage these and make sure that we do take out profit when we do pop back up, because the market is trending to the lower side right now. And my biggest, I mean, look, 99 problems, right? I mean, trading is going to continue to be one, but you know, we are going to watch out here. Softy, nice little dip down. We are taking some pressure off this into the 30s as the futures look to go lower. We just need there it goes. I was just going to say, we just need a quick spike up here, and we should be able to clean out some of these trades. Meta right now, I mean, okay, here we go, man. We're in meta, and we're in meta pretty strong right now as we get some dip buys. And I'm just trying to, like, again, get out of some of these positions, because if the market tanks here, I am DO to the A right now. So trying to manage some of these positions. We also just got a low bid there on Amazon. So yeah, this is where I make the big bucks, because this is part of managing your positions and making sure that you can host the show, try to talk as smart as you possibly can, which for me is very difficult to do. And then also, you know, manage these positions as accurate as I possibly can. So we're starting to get some out. Microsoft has come out already. We got a lot out on Microsoft there. This is the number. This is the name that I see. Here we go. Now it's dipping down. This is the name that I'm most worried about. So we did get out of half of this trade. It's like, if everything's going to work to the upside, I have much more faith in Meta. I have much more faith in Amazon than I do in Softy. So watch out here. 230, 243 going to break. I don't want to get any more long. I'm already in these names now. So there you go. Now we're starting to break lower. So Amazon out on that break. Again, not going to be waiting for a very long time on these names. Microsoft getting ready to break lower, almost at that level again right now. And then there goes Meta. We've done work and gotten out of some of these, but there are going to be losers on these reloads as the NASDAQ turning red right now. So we still have a little bit of ways to go. Meta breaking 115 is really my concern there on that level. So until we do that, kind of hold out on Meta. And then Microsoft is getting very close. We're pennies away from getting out of Softy. So we'll buy a little bit more, you know, and just in case, we'll punch through. But Microsoft, just to make sure, we're getting out in about 10 more pennies from here. So Microsoft, we kind of felt like that was the worry position for us. And it looks like it is right. Palantir are only short, of course, doing absolutely nothing. So let's wait to see if Palantir picks up a little bit. And Meta looks like it's in trouble down here near 115. Let's see if it holds. Slippery slope here.
Yeah, I mean, look, Netflix is heading down, but the other short I'm in is doing absolutely nothing. Like, Robinhood's basically holding 985 here. So it's not giving me a re-entry point, but I'm on the bid and very close to getting the dip buy in Intel. So like I said, I'd be a little more active around VWAP on Intel, because I did miss a couple of reloads on the stock. I just got filled in here. But it's starting to get it's a little bit violent. If the market doesn't hold 4,000 on the ES or 11, wow, this is actually, yeah, it's really starting to accelerate. I should have been finding another short. Like, Netflix is fine, but I need something else. So I did just add more in Intel, and I'm looking over at Alibaba as well, and I'm like, yeah, if we take out this 72.20, I'm just gonna get a trail on this and then wait back towards some of those lows. So I'm slapping a trail on Alibaba just in case it does not want to hold these levels. I do need something else to the short side, but I don't want to be chasing this move too far in to that back end. To that point, remember Apple was sort of tight. When I took Netflix, I was kind of looking at Apple, that 150 level as well, thinking Netflix had just a better opportunity risk to reward. Apple's still within like 40 or 50 cents of that high. So Apple's holding up here. If the market does reject, like, you still have a chance to maybe short that 150 level, as I just, you know, get more shares of Intel there and are about to get stopped out on SoFi. Alibaba already, I put the trail in on Alibaba,
all coming down now.
And I got filled, just trailed out on Alibaba like seconds after I put the trail in. So everything is starting to come into that downside. I am not going to hold Netflix for the home run. I do still believe that it's, you know, give it to this consolidation at 306. I'm never intending this to get back to VWAP. I think it's been entirely too strong. The market's flat on the day. It's not like we're down 1 or 1%. If that were the case, I'd be looking for this to come all the way back into VWAP. But I'm looking to take my profit on some Netflix. SoFi's 2 cents from stopping out that long as well. So it might just end up being Intel that holds up if it can hold VWAP, and not too many other dip buys that I can see in here. I was looking at NIO for an opportunity off the bottoms. I know I like that 11 level. It's not close enough. So I'm going to be patient. It's probably got to go at least another 10, 15 cents before I'm bottom picking here on NIO. That was a good trade a little bit earlier on. I don't know if that's still going to be there for us.
Right, I'm debating just flipping around on Amazon now. I mean, we might have just wicked some bottoms there in the market, so we can see. We'll try Meta one more time against like 114.76 or something like that. But I don't know that to be the case here, that we made a bottom. Oops, that's Amazon. Sorry. There's Meta, so we messed around with it at 115. We're going to go back long here. Give this 10 cents worth of room now. That's it. If it breaks higher, it breaks higher. If not, not. I know that sounds ridiculous, but that's what we're going to do here on Meta. Hopefully it can go, and then we'll hold the rest. If it drops out, then we will get out of that one. I was looking at Amazon and thinking almost the same thing but different, is that we are now trying to break lower. And remember, Amazon is still red today, despite all that talk about the job cuts and everything like that, some restructuring. Theirs are out at 40. It does touch 99.20, and now you're all the way back to 32 again. So, some easy kind of scalping there off of 99, but I'm still looking short on this play. So here goes Meta. Looks like Meta wants to break a little bit lower. You break 75, like I said, that bottom wick right there, and we're going to be gone out of this name. So, not great here. As I told you, we would be done, not donezo, but I told you we'd lose, and we did. We just had three long. I mean, we had the big guys long. We had Amazon, Microsoft, Meta all long. So, when the market takes this out and goes back down, and Neil just mentioned there, or Brendan, I think it might have been Neil, but 4,000 coming into play right here on the ES. So, it's either got to hold that, or not. And if you don't hold it, then I do believe, you probably get back at least down 20 or 30 handles into some of these lows that we've already seen today. So I could see that, but right now it is trying to bounce a little bit off there. So, we'll hold them. I mean, we're just back to flat now on Meta. So, let's see where we go on this name. Like I said, it's my #1 stock today. We did give some back here trying this long, but still, we had some pretty hero trades on this name. Let's see if we can do one again on Meta and see if it can go back up into this like 115.50 or so area, and then we'll cash a little bit out and make this hit a little bit less against us here.
Yeah, one stock that's actually bouncing. It's down 6%, so it's a weird word to use. Coinbase here. I do have the Robinhood short, which is, it's okay, but it's not really moving that much. Coinbase gave you 55s. I was shorting 54s earlier, got stopped out in the last little bit of it. It did get to the low of the day. Tried to hold it through that low of the day and hit a home run. It ended up breaking out the high, so sometimes you want to give it all the way back. I could have given it a break-even stop, but I did like the short a lot, and Robinhood was holding up, so I decided I want to hold both. But this is now bouncing off of VWAP. So if we get back up to 55, I think that's a level I'm going to like. I don't like going long here. I can't bring myself to go long Coinbase on a bit of a pullback, but I wouldn't blame anybody if they like the risk to reward. Someone in the chat asked me why Netflix when I go short. It was just triple top. I'm not saying it had gone too far, but when the market's at resistance and the chart looks like this on the daily of Netflix, I'm usually going to take a shot shorting of some of those highs when it's so strong. Like it's such an impressive 3-day rally. You've gone from 250 to 310 in just 3 trading sessions. At some point, if you're going to day trade the stock, you're just not necessarily looking for a long at that top when the market has hit resistance. You're just looking for the risk to reward. And to me, that favored the short side of the trade. We'll see how long this intel lasts. I am looking for a place to add to this position. I've only gotten in on the way back down. So if it bounces off VWAP, I'm kind of looking for it to bounce either 70s, or if it can bounce off 65s, I'll look to add somewhere in that 65 to 70 range on the way back up, maybe even back at 75. But I need to see us catch a bid first, because at this point, we're only heading southbound, and I got to find some more shorts. I thought maybe Lucid would be a bit of a play. This is back below VWAP. The last short I had was at about 12.35 that I stopped out here at 40s around lunchtime. I might just work back into this short off of the lower high in Lucid at 12.40. That's one that's worked most of the day to the short side. Brendo?
A little one popping up here on a debt deal. It looks like this morning this Investnet was up this morning on this $350 million debt deal, or down, I should say, but has since gone positive and then some. Back to green and in a big way here, guys, trying to take out the high for ENB.
Investnet. Okay, finally we got a little bit of a fill there. We took 3 pennies on 5% of Palantir. We want to hold something if this market does come back in. So Palantir, it is coming back in. So this is a name here that we want to watch out for. Palantir looking like it wants to make that move back down. Just bouncing right now off some VWAP. Would obviously love to be short up here. That was where we were giving it to. But again, this name not really moving, down 3%. One of those names that's just like, hey, it's been beat up a little bit. Obviously, some of these names that aren't making money. Palantir's 25-year-old company, still not doing anything. So, you know, just like DraftKings, just like sort of Lucid, Rivian, and the talk of the cars is something there about, you know, unprofitable. So, okay, DraftKings right there, that was a trade that we had early, nicely done. We were able to get out of the way. It made that bottom at 1450. We talked about that bottom and possibly watching out for that. That does seem to have been the bottom. It ripped all the way back to 1505. Now you're just kind of hovering. I just wanted to look at that because I know it's a name that I've looked at before. All right, so I don't know, man. We're trying to dance off this 4,000, but it's not like very aggressive. So we're back long into Amazon and we're back long into Meta. So these are the two names that we're long, trying to see if those were bottoms right there. So, you know, we're just going to dance with it, see if it goes. I don't think it did not go to 115, I'm going to say, for Meta, because if it did, well, I'm going to put an order right now. If it does, I do want to get at least probably about 15% out. If it does rip back up to the upside, just trying to capture some profit on some names that we gave some money back on, right? So let's see if we could do that. And then Amazon, I mean, that 50 would be a good level, so let's put an order there in case we get a rip up to 30. We have the same amount of shares on Amazon and on Meta, so, you know, if we dip out, I mean, they look the same, right? Like, there's the wick bottoms there on Amazon. We're going to go long, hoping that they can hold and seeing if the futures want to go for a little bit of a jog. Remember, we have to be flat at the end of every day, so what I'm trying to do is pick names that may have just gotten hit and I think have the chance to go back to the north side. So here we go with Amazon. Here we go with Meta. A couple different opportunities there. We held this all day. This is our Disney trade. Disney went to 96. Like, we are $1.30 in the money. It's right back here to 95. So got to do some more work on Disney, but we are holding that to see where we go. Disney right now back. Okay, nice. There goes Amazon. Amazon just hit 50s again. Now you're going to start to see me get more out. So there it is. Some more outs at 48. We're making a little bit of cash back right now, guys, on these names. Meta needs to go as well. What's up, Ren?
This was more of a controlled kind of slide. Not seeing anything on this right now, but this is happening to Snap right now. There was a tight kind of consolidation happening all day to 1150. Appears to have broken downside here, guys. 2% for Snap.
Speaking of breaking downside, I did just cash out of Netflix there. The market bounced off that 4,000, and the second I saw that happen, you did not break consolidation the next level down, so it'll end up being just shy of 250. $2.50 on the trade, risking about $1 on it. So we got 1-to-1, or at least better than 1-to-1 at 38.5. But we did lose the first time we took it. Thankfully, the second time did work out. I just got Lucid to the short side, so I'm going to start working that one on this latest little pop. If the market breaks 4,000, if the market trends to the downside for the rest of the session, I feel pretty good about Lucid. Why do I have a Snapchat offer in there? That's a bit weird. No. If the Snapchat at the low of the day, there we go. It looks pretty, yeah, it's at the lows, but this is what I wanted to show you guys. I could go to the 15 minutes, easier to zoom out on the 3. This was a good short in the afternoon, yesterday's trade, but look at the gap fill if it takes down about 11.25, which is this low of the day. Usually when you get a bit of a flash move down, I'd rather fade that back and be looking at 11.45. But if the market rolls over, this taking out the bottom, there's room. Next level down is 11 even. So, you know, this has definitely got to be on my radar. Snapchat, that was a good one on Friday. I don't think we're going to see that short. But back into this 1150, I'd short in front of VWAP. I'll short an 1125 break. Going to get some Snapchat. Now that Netflix is kind of one and done, if Netflix gets back to the high of the day, I'm not sure I even want to get back in off that high. I feel like if it gets there, it probably breaks it this time. So I'm probably going to hold off on getting any more Netflix shorts if it goes back to the top. So I want something else to short in case we pop. That will be Snapchat.
Yeah, so me hearing all that stuff there about about Snapchat made me want to get out of Meta. So, you know, it ripped up to we already talked about it, so we just got some more out here. I'm just trying to, like, get out of this because Snapchat's moving down. Maybe there's something coming on Snapchat. Like, if they're going to, they could intraday guide again lower. I mean, they just had earnings. I don't think they would do that, but they've done it before. So that's making me a little nervous here about Meta, right? So anything negative as far as, you know, advertising, or if they're seeing any like tailwind, or I guess it would be headwinds, then yeah, that's not something that I really want to be a part of. So I am going to start to empty. I just got an 80. Did I just get that 88, by the way? Yeah, I did. So we just got an 88 fill out. And I know it's like we're long at 90. We're not making money here. I'm trying to hold out for a move to the upside. If it does happen, I have like a 96 there to get a decent, not a decent piece up, but one more piece. Let's just see if it continues to work. It's not working, but let's see if it it will continue to work to the upside. Good outs on Amazon, man. I mean, we made it back. So whatever we lost on Amazon off that long right there, we're starting to make it back now. You could see same shares, long at 50, out at 36. That's a 14-cent hit. Right now we're long at 36 and it's at 54. We're in the money exactly, well, 15, 16 cents again. So we're making the money back that we lost on Amazon right now. It's just meta dependent here to see if we can get back up to the upside. Hopefully we can right now. Palantir doing its own damn thing. And then AMC again. I'm still in a very small piece. I'm just trying to wait to see what happens at this bottom where we already got taken out once it broke 50 the first time. So a couple ins here on AMC. I was still waiting for that 8 break. That's sort of what we're waiting for. So fingers crossed that we get some kind of an 8 break here on Amazon, or sorry, on AMC. And as I say that, because blah, 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 blah. Look at Amazon. There it is. Yes, sir. Let's go. Oh, Canada. Shout out to everybody here in the lovely country of Canada. We are in the lovely city of Toronto, Ontario, Canada, the province of Ontario. Nice move upside right here for Amazon. Let's take full advantage of that as it's starting to go. Yes, Meta, you can have whatever you like, but I want 116 on Meta. So let's see if we can get that as well. Shout out to Atlanta, Georgia's own TI.
TI is, I was about to say underrated, but he's not underrated. I think he probably gets the credit, I would say. But I just added to my short on Lucid here. I need something in case we break down to work to the low side. I did buy relative strength, relative weakness, Lucid relatively weak. Intel relatively strong, so I did add to it when it bounced off VWAP. Second, it starts getting into the 80s and then back up into this 30, maybe 30.88. I think I'm sitting here in front of the 90s. I'll take another leg out. If it gets to 31, I anticipate I will be all out of, if I see 31, I'm all out of the Intel trade off this bounce because that can be a break on its own. So I am looking to see if that one's going to go back up to the top, but I'm not trying to hold through the break. If anything, if there's enough time, I would take the breakout trade on Intel. There might not be enough time for that, quite frankly. Tesla here. I don't think we talked any Tesla this afternoon.
Booyah.
I know, it's a weird one. So I'll kick myself over Tesla because I did have the long on the dip. I got wicked out. I jumped right back in it. That cost me about, I think it was like 40 or 50 cents at that low. But then I got out a little bit early. Didn't catch a reload. Now this is bouncing off VWAP and showing you some signs of strength here off this 192 level. So when the market bounces off 4,000, what holds support? Intel just held VWAP. That's great. Bought that one. Tesla 192 is looking pretty good as well. So I think I want to get over to some Tesla. Still down on the day. So I think it'd be a relatively hard stop there. But a pretty strong move there. Bouncing off 4,000, I think, for the overall market, holding the top end of that channel, which means there are some longs out there that can still be pretty solid. Oddly enough, Netflix on that bounce, we just bounced off 4,000. That was the reason I got out. This didn't budge. So I might have left something on the table, but I'm not going to sit here and just re-enter the trade $3 off the high of the day on a strong stock. So it's possible I get out too early, but I don't see a risk to reward here. I don't want to jump in the middle of no man's land. But if I was still short and hadn't got this out, I'd be thinking about slapping a trail based on the fact, just give it more room and slap a trail on it because the market bounced here and it didn't go anywhere, which could mean it's got some more downside action. I'm in Lucid, but also Rivian here, just noting, as I'm shorting more Lucid at VWAP, Rivian is, it's down only 1.7% to Lucid's 4%, but it is like Tesla trending a little bit stronger. So I have my eye on these two because they start breaking out. Decent chance that Lucid short's going to be no good, but I'll give it a little bit more room here. Don't want to jump out of it too early. Robinhood, this is kind of turning into a bit of a nothing burger. I can't get more shares in, so I'm just holding out for the bottom. I'm going to pop my offers probably below VWAP to try and short this one in front of 990. Just get a little bit more aggressive. If the market might trend to the downside, this has been trending all day long. So I'll get more aggressive trying to short the pops here in Robinhood.
Sounds like I'm wrestling a bear. What am I even doing? Oh, my mic fell. My mic fell through. People are like, oh my God, this guy's crushing his trades right here. But we are. But no, my mic fell down. Not wrestling a bear over here. Okay, what's up to Robbie Digital? What's up to Wall Street Fighter? I am getting excited as we look at our net. That is for sure. Because here we go, man. We just held out, man. We held out for more. And we talked about this. Remember Meta when I went long? I was like, okay, we're long here at 90. We're giving this 15 cents worth of room. It's in the money now 30. So that's a kind of a proposition for you right there. And again, it's my eyes are everywhere right now as we continue to look, and you got to we make mistakes all the time, looking at the wrong names, focusing on, I mean, people said about, again, more positions than blah, 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 so that was pretty funny. But again, it's the idea of what I'm in. So like right now, Disney, and this is gonna be like a little bit of talk here, I'm very light in this trade. Like, if you don't hear me talk about it, then there's really nothing happening. I'm already out of 2/3 of this trade. We've already made money. I'm not even negative on the name, even as this name falls through. And I'm just kind of waiting for some bottom take trades to happen. So it's more the names that like I'm actively trading here. So Meta, we've been looking at that one. So we're watching out for this, seeing about 50 periods, seeing about 200 periods, right? We're just making sure that most of the names that we're in are well focused, and have the risk to reward and return that we're looking for on these plays. So like even when I go over to AMD, look, okay, market's ripping. I know I want long on AMD. Is AMD near a level that a long would sort of be like proper for us? I don't see that right now, so we sort of move on. That's kind of what I'm doing. I'm just cycling through some ideas and some names and hoping to get one, right? So
I got one.
Good. Wait, first of all, quickly.
Go ahead.
Yeah, because we got one right now. Bang. Amazon, another one. Bang. How you like Amazon? Bang, another one. So there's Amazon. You want to talk about something that is risk to reward right here? Amazon continues to sing a pretty tune, because now today, any package that gets delivered to my house is courtesy of Jeff Bezos. There it is, nice little move to the upside right now. $100 coming on Amazon right now. So nice little moves. Neil wants to talk about Pinterest.
Yeah, Pins is super strong. I just asked Brendan, is there something I'm missing on Pinterest? I always want to make sure. Look, I can look up news myself, but we just happen to have Brendan. You guys got him too. If you're watching the show, another benefit of watching us. But this is just super strong here. 25 is it's a big level on Pins, and it's been resistance for a while. Look, I'm taking 25 break if it happens. The market just bounced off 4,000, showing strength. I'm going long if Pinterest breaks 25 even. I see that kind of strength. I like it. It comes back down and dips the view up. I'm taking that long as well. So I wanted to find something that looked pretty strong. I think I found it here with Pinterest. There's a couple of ways to get in, both off the dip, but that 25 break holds out. Hilariously enough, I told you guys what my stop was on SoFi, and then it proceeded to go like very close to it without stopping me out. So I am still in SoFi. Somehow it just does not want to go into the downside. I'm close to getting first fills on Intel. And speaking of Brendan, he's got a name for us.
This TBLT just popped back up again on a volume scanner here, trying to get back to day highs. We mentioned this morning if you're with us. Earnings, guys. This was earnings this morning, pre-market, better than expected. But look at this, 71% now, trying to get back to $4 for Tough Built.
Yeah, but that's also like it's a low floater as well. It's like 12, yeah, okay, so 12 million float. So keep in mind, it's done 5 times the float today.
Yeah, Brendan brought that name to us earlier there, Tough Built.
5 times.
Damn it. Sometimes it is definitely worth looking into. Okay, so let's just find some more names here for you guys as we go. Maybe there's another name that you guys want us to look at. Actually, you know what? I'm going to look at DWAC really quickly. I mean, why not? Let's see if that's doing anything. All right, so on the minute chart, again, I mean, I still feel like this is not a name to sort of date. Like the way I trade, it's kind of like, I mean, the spread's fine, 5 cents. I was going to say maybe it's a little bit spready, but it's not really. It's just, normally I'm trying to trade off support and resistance. I just think that you're going to blow through anything here on any kind of news. So I think it's kind of foolish to sit around with orders. But if it does get down here to this 27, so if we dip down about $1, or let's call it 80 cents, then I feel like you could buy some 27.30s and then hold it against this 27 level. That that could be a trade coming here on DWAC. But to take out this level here, 28.30, I don't know if there's enough in it, because it's kind of like whatever levels you kind of pick here, it hasn't really exploded off anything. So I'm gonna wait to see for DWAC. I mean, if it comes back down to the 200 period, that's been pretty good, including even this morning where it danced around it and then took off. So, there are going to be something there. But for now, I guess DWAC's not really the thing. Is Rumble doing anything? That's back down to $12. So
they report tomorrow.
These, were they on the list? Okay,
I think,
yeah, maybe. But either way, man, it's just about like, waiting for something to happen. And I think that if you're going to do that, then you got to be patient, right? I mean, that's what waiting is all about. We did clear out some Amazon. Could you guys believe that Amazon went all the way back up? That's for you, Dr. Crusher, all the way up to $99.95 there for Amazon. And again, you know, when you're taking something for, you know, 20, 30 cents worth of risk and you're able to capture 50, 60 cents, that's a pretty decent one right there. So hopefully we can keep this momentum going. But look at the pullback right now. The market's pulling back a little bit. Let's put an offer at 72, 73, get some more out as this market is pulling back in now, taking out the 50 period. So, yep, some of these names going to be in jeopardy one more time here.
Yeah, exactly. I was just looking at Rumble, but I'm not seeing a heck of a lot of movement. I was looking at Etsy. People are looking at that as pretty strong. It's a volume thing maybe with Etsy up here. Like it's too top heavy. It's kind of like Netflix where I'd be looking for short opportunities instead of chasing something off at those highs. And it's real close. Like you look at the daily chart, like this is 123 here. So 123 back here, if you go back to August. So 123 tops, it got to 123.68 or so. So whenever I see that, like I want to see it almost beneath that level, and then maybe you risk it to the high of the day, but holding beneath that level for a lower consolidation, if that makes any sense, and then play the pullback. I know I know it's trending to the upside. I know it's super strong, but with the market dipping back in here, I just think you've got more. If it breaks 4,000, there's such a room to the downside, then especially on a name up here, I do not like going long on those top end breaks in a no man's land this late in the day. Like it's a much different story when you get consolidation levels where I kind of know where my risk is going to be. I know where the next level up is going to be, and it hasn't been running necessarily all day and as crazily as Etsy. Like I think Pinterest being 0.5% to the upside, and there's room from 25 on the daily chart to 26. I'd rather go into that. I just added to some Lucid as the market starts rolling back in. Did Snapchat break? No.
Nope.
No, it broke 30.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. So it's broken. You know what? It hasn't actually broken. It's beneath the 30 level. There it goes. So anyways, just the way I just got triggered now because it had broken 30, but it needed to smack 29s to trigger my stop. So I was sitting there watching it. Then it did trigger as I pulled over. So I am now short Snapchat through said low of the day. This is going to put the market coming back in here, breaking that 4,000. Puts Intel under pressure. Intel under pressure. If this breaks 365, I'm just going to get out of Dodge. I don't want to give back everything on Intel. I'm going to acknowledge the fact that at some point buying the dip at VWAP every single time that the market turns isn't going to work forever. That's just not how the market goes. So I was able to add to Lucid, able to get into Snapchat. Maybe I should be taking a look at that Etsy a little bit more aggressively because it is now holding beneath that 123. So let's see if I can get something there. If I had just immediately jumped over into this when it broke that 123, could have already been 20, 30 cents in the money, but I'll see if I can get something in front of this 123. Brendo, what do you got, bud?
Just to confirm, guys, Rumble's aftermarket tonight, but we'll trade it obviously tomorrow. This had a big move today as well. This is the Fed funds tool on this side of things, obviously. This is the 50 basis point hike coming up in December. So this was about 68, I want to say, going back to Friday. We're all the way to 85 now as more comments continue to come through from Fed members and after we get more data on Friday on the inflation front. So 85.4 now for the December hike.
Of 50 points,
Of 50
right?
points.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's good for us. That's good for the market. They're 50 points, I would think so anyways. But I think whenever you're like 84%, 80, like, you know, it's pretty much baked in, if you've heard of that terminology before. So if that's what the market thinks they're getting, then when they get it, it's like, okay, what else, right? So, all right, new position alert. We'll go like this. It might not be very, very long. And there it is. Again, Disney. We just took it. We told you we were waiting for a reload in this spot. It comes right down to 95. We take it. It dips down, and then we just get out as fast as we got in there, literally on the same minute, or less than the same minute. We just got that at 95.10. It breaks down through 95, and now the short is on in Disney right now. So that short's on. Palantir. Okay, I was gonna say it broke. It went. We were almost. I was gonna say, did I get flattened on this, but I didn't. It's because we're almost out of Amazon. So Amazon definitely working there, but it's fallen back in, man. I mean, there's only going to be so many trades that are going to work to the long side. Like we said, we don't need to keep on loading it up. Amazon next test will be $99. We'll take a look down there at 99, but again, not super convinced that that's going to be anything. But there it is, the wick down to 99.20. I think it's worth standing in front of this one, but I don't know, man. Here comes the market again. again. So let's try it here. Amazon at these levels, but again, we don't necessarily want to be too long now. As we're broken below the 50 period, let's just try to go on some strong stocks. Amazon's not one of it, but we do have a level of 99 that sort of held up a little bit here. So some nice longs. I'm traded Amazon really good, so I'm going to try to trust the instinct on this. See about another long here in AMZN.
You've traded Amazon very well.
Yep, extremely well.
No, it's just, I'm always correcting my daughter for like grammar because I'm just that guy. So good, well, I'm pissed off at myself over this. See how that's Scorpion versus Sub-Zero? I'm a Sub-Zero guy, and my Mortal Kombat one has Scorpion instead of Sub-Zero. And I'm not even sure how that happened, because I had a line I was about to drop. I'm like, brr, it's cold in here. There must be some shorts in the atmosphere. And then I was going to hit the button for Sub-Zero, and we got Scorpion. So anyways, get down here, hopefully, to the market. Intel did come out, so that's not going to work. The shorts have paid off. Snapchat, big assist to Brendan. Brendan told you guys the news on Snapchat. Consolidated lower, broke the low. Now it's breaking down even further. Maybe you can get down to 11. I just got some 24s. I just got some 21s. I'll get some out at 15, 10s, and then hopefully down to 11 flat as it comes to the downside. Lee Trevino said, rip your own spine out. That'd be an impressive trick if I could do that and still trade here. I don't think I could pull that off.
That's tough to do.
But Sub-Zero, that was always my favorite character. I have no idea why we created this graphic and did it for Scorpion when I'm a Sub-Zero guy. But I did get out of Intel. The thing about trading anything on a trend, whether you're buying in front of a support level or selling in front of a resistance level or buying dips on a trend line, at some point you're going to go to the well and it's going to lose, right? So you accept the fact that following the trend and buying the dip every single chance you go, the last one is almost certainly going to be a loser unless it goes to the high of the day, right? So you know what's going to happen, but you have to have a stop when that happens. Like you can't just say it's worked all day, I'm going to go long forever. Got to give it up here in Intel. That's going to end up failing for me. But Snap, Lucid now starting to break down. That's enter twice. That's now back below VWAP, so roll into it at that 1240. Thank goodness it didn't break. As it gets down below 1230, I'm going to get some out on the way to 12 even. I don't think it breaks 12 even. I'm getting out of Dodge if it does do that. I had mentioned Tesla looked relatively strong. Tesla started turning, and so did Rivian. That's why I decided to just get more shares into Lucid, which I thought was relatively weaker. Certainly, you could short Tesla at 194, but when that turns, when Rivian turns, I'd rather short the thing that I like that's going to that downside. Don't really love anything else too much except for I had mentioned Etsy, and this is the problem with the stock. It doesn't do a ton of volume. So when it broke back beneath 123, I just couldn't, I wasn't quick enough to be able to get into it because after it had failed and was already heading to the downside, I couldn't really catch that train. So I'm not chasing Etsy down to 122. It held below 123. That was your entry there. No need to chase it through these lows. It's too strong a stock to be shorting it $2.50 from the high. I just can't make the risk to reward work there. Brendo.
Not a huge move on this, but worth a note. I guess we're coming off a bit. FedEx, guys, downside here a little bit on volume. A few headlines just coming through here about some furloughs and layoffs for FedEx as well.
Really?
All right, just really quickly here, Palantir, nice move to the downside, man. 810 now. So we've been shorting Palantir up here at 820. Nice move down to 810. Just taking some more profit on this name as it's trying to drip a little bit here. Only an $8 stock. So unfortunately, when you take 6 or 7 cents, it's not like crazy. I mean, a lot of you probably not interested in that kind of a
That's
move.
1%.
But yeah, it's good. No, it's fine. I'm happy with it. It's just hoping to get a little bit more down. 808 and heartbreaks down there, maybe 810 for that. And then here comes Google again. We did take a nice piece on this. This is just about to turn red right now. We do have a 200 period here as well. So this is one that I'm going to see about going. We were just at highs, right? Like 5 minutes ago. So I think that we could retrace back here if it wants to go. Let's take a trip here on Google and see if we can't get a decent price here back in on this name. Trying to buy some more at 20s would be nice if this one wanted to go.
Yes, definitely would. But I wanted to acknowledge the super chat. Thank you very much here. Just going to show you guys. And thank you, Joshua Kim, for the super chat. $99.99. So the great one twice in there. We're Canadian, so I'll shout out to the great one. He has a great commercial right now that I keep seeing. I've been watching you guys for 2 years and learned so much. I never got a chance to show my gratitude. And even though this isn't much, I hope it'll be put to good use for the channel to grow and reach other new traders. Early Thanksgiving spirit. So that's right. It is American Thanksgiving coming up. Thank you for tuning in, first of all. And 100% it will go to good use. Like everything that we get kind of goes back into the show. We talk about the animations, getting you guys better visuals. We have some ideas that we're trying to put forth for how we can, kind of do things differently. Maybe in the midday show, do some more segments there. There's a lot that we're always trying to work on to make this experience better for everybody, because we acknowledge trading's not easy, and you want to make sure that we're giving you the best of both worlds, both getting the trading advice, but hopefully growing your trading journey and having a little bit of fun with it, because at the end of the day, you want to have some fun in this game as well. So shout out to you for that super chat. But hey, we just like spreading the love around here. Hit that like, man. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and we're more than happy at that particular point. I just also wanted to point out, I talked about Etsy, and I forgot to go back over to Netflix, because obviously, Netflix is not on the New Zealand exchange. And not only is it not on the New Zealand exchange, I don't have entitlements to the New Zealand exchange, so nothing really populates when I do it. So I had suspected that I got out of Netflix a little bit too soon. And it ends up breaking the channel and goes all the way down to VWAP. So as much as, look, it ends up, it'll be a good trade. You make money on a trade, you're not going to complain about it. But I did not give this one enough of a chance. And I think the mistake would have been, it's not the second consolidation getting out. It's getting out at the first consolidation. I think a lot of times what will happen is you're looking for that to break and give you the move, and then I'm asking myself, how many times have we traded sideways throughout the afternoon? Oh, if it does that, just sort of take it out here. That's fine for a stock that hasn't been going crazy. For a stock that's moved this much, getting out when it gets to this channel probably didn't make a lot of sense. Allow it to break a level to go down, and then get a little more aggressive as it continues to flush. But Netflix does get to VWAP. I think if the market tries to catch a bit of a bid here, this wick's not real. The actual low is down around 301, 302, up 5%. This could be something I could go long off of 303. We got about 30 minutes until the imbalances, just less than that. So there is time to make some more moves here. And I would like to at least have some exposure to something in case the market does want to bounce. I said Robinhood, I got to get out of it. Robinhood down toward the low of the day. If it bounces from here, I'm just going to trail it at 970. I'm probably not going to get the refill on the upside here. If it comes back up, I probably don't want it at that particular time. But if we don't get the bid at if I don't get the bid at 965, where I've been waiting all day long, I'm just going to trail this at 970. This has already bounced off the low once, and the market's bouncing here. So I'm just going to take this one out.
All right. So we thought Google could go for a run there a little bit. It tried. We got some out in the 30s again for this, but we're only long at 24. So not a great little run there for these guys either. There was a name that I want to look. I mean, you're already on Snapchat there. DWAC is already there. Thanks to Joshua, man. That means a lot to all of us here, of course. Netflix is still above that 305. You've already talked about that. We need to find some names that, of course, are moving around, or else it gets kind of, blah, blah. So let's try to do some of that. Uber, we can have a quick look at. We can look at some of the banks as well. Let's go over quickly, look at JP Morgan, as that's a name that, well in my trading range and zone for that. So we can have a quick look at what's going on with JP Morgan. So right down here, near day's low again. For JP Morgan. So just bouncing off this 134.50 market well below. Trying to bounce though, right? Like remember we said that what's going to happen when we take out that 4,000? We could probably go down here. I said 20 handles. We only went 10. So that's pretty good. Trying to get back up to 4,000, whether or not we hit that level or not, only time will tell. So let's still hold out on that one. But yeah, JP Morgan right here. We're gonna have a look at another chart here. I do have e-signal charting as well, where I look at a 20-minute, a 3-minute, 1, dailies, 30s, stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, this is just a little bit of a cleaner chart here for the 20 period for JP Morgan. Good volume, almost 7 million, 6.38 million shares, 134.50, 134.40, some wick bottoms early. Pretty choppy, but look at this little decline here. So, can definitely get going back to the upside. But for me, I won't get stopped out probably till right around here, 40s. So I need to get longer in the 50s or 60s, somewhere around here to watch out for that bottom in the beginning of the day. So for me, JP Morgan's going to be a pass for now, but it's getting close. So if we get any fills down here at 134.50, we're going to watch out for JP Morgan. So that's about 25 cents away. But I do like that for some potential in the banks. They've been super strong. I mean, if you're going to look at a daily chart for the banks, they've just been like,
yeah, look at Goldman.
Bing. Yeah, Goldman's, I own
Goldman's actually might be stronger, Goldman.
I don't know. Goldman's well, but I bought this in the summer and bought some more off earnings as well. This is the name that,
mine's not loading up, but.
Mine's trying to go. There it is on the daily chart right here for Goldman. So you can see huge move up, man. I bought it back in the summer, back in and around here, about 3 bills or so. Bought some more around the same price again. So huge move up for Goldman, man. Wow. Yeah, big time accelerator. I didn't even really notice that. We'll have to double check it. And then we just got to reload there on Google as well.
Oh, that tough build, by the way, that just tested it keeps on testing this top. Like there's so many, that's so many names, but there are a few names which are relatively strong. You're like, okay, the market bounce is going to go, this is going to go. It's got a chance to break out here again because it's been breaking consolidation over and over, but just another wick high. It's very tempting to just say, like everything else I've been looking at, just go short off the high. It's a different, when it's a low float, it's a little bit different than like Etsy and Netflix here, but it's getting really, really tempting to just take a shot at this. The problem is I'm sure I have to pay for locates, and with 30 minutes left, I don't know that I like the notion of paying for locates. Even as the market bounces, Snapchat okay, so it broke that 30, went down to 10s or to 20s, that first 10 cents down, and is already consolidating again. So because we are running out of time, you've heard Sean and I say that we have to be flat at the end of the day. That just simply means you can't carry positions overnight or after market. So as in this consolidation, I do want to get another leg out. I don't know that I want to be reloading this back up at those tops. I'm going to go back to Netflix for a quick second here because it looks like it's trying to retest at least some of these lows. Someone just said there was a flash trade at 291. There was a dark pool print, which is probably a late reported print to 91. It never went down there. Trust me, if Netflix tanked $14, it would be a much bigger, this is a good test. Like you would see a much more significant volume candle if there had been this kind of a drop. So when you don't see that, you kind of know it's just one late or dark pool print that's kind of skewing the chart. It's held VWAP, it's held 303, and as long as it's doing that, I'm going to look for a long bounce here on Netflix. But I do want to only risk it to that 303.
Yeah, because we're on a prop floor, so we're trying to day trade the world. Siddhartha, that's why. It's just, we're on a prop floor, so we do have to be flat at the every day. At the end of every day, we're trading firm capital. So if that makes any sense to you.
Firm biz.
Firm doesn't, yeah, exactly, firm biz. They don't want to take the risk on, overnights, obviously. So, and neither do I. So we'll just continue to do what we're doing best here, and that is intraday scalping. So that's what we're doing right now. Again, we did get a reload there on Google, so you wait at 20, you get it. So that's what we got. Now it's up here into the 30s. Good trade so far happening for me on Google. Let's just hold the rest, man. If it wants to go back up, I still think we can get to that 50 period right there and then possibly more. Wow, JP Morgan, did anybody even take that? Like, I know I didn't sound very convincing and we wanted it a little bit lower, but it's starting to go upside a little bit right now since we talked about it. So there goes JP Morgan. I am going to take another piece out if I'm lucky enough to do that here on Google. There it is at 31. So there's another out for us. And this is what I mean, right? It's just like, try to find some names. We got stopped out, unfortunately. Meta's probably Meta's still down. Okay, so Meta's been down there. We got stopped out on Microsoft. Microsoft made the move right back to the upside. Damn. Wow. Microsoft, very strong. Let's hope that Google can pick up some Microsoft smoke now. That name is up 80 cents from the bottom. So if we can get, now I know it's a $240 name. I don't expect Microsoft to go, Google being a $96 name to go up that much, but this is up literally 5 cents off its bottom. So if Google can follow some Azure and some cloud business like Microsoft just did there, maybe we can get Google to fly a little higher as well. There's nothing I can do to get it to go up, but we'll sit here and wait to see if it does want to go up. 1,000 shares, please help with what's up, David?
This is a cannabis stock. I actually just had it up right now.
BGXX. If you're long cannabis names, man, I don't have too much help for you other than, maybe buy some and smoke some and you'll get some clairvoyant activity on those names.
But like anything else, like if you're making shot plays, which I'm going to say this obviously qualifies as one, like I can definitely see, like you look at a consolidation like this. I used to trade penny stocks, and sometimes you just look at something consolidating that might have a bit of a catalyst, and you say, okay, well, if it goes my way, okay, 55. I don't know if you said where you're long, but it's at 50 to 55 in here, probably somewhere, and it's got a 45-cent low. But it's obviously been a disaster in the daily chart. But if it breaks out, okay, it doesn't take much for it to get to this level, which is like a 70 to 75. It's just when that thing happens and you're making these like shot play consolidation longs on a penny stock, the longer it doesn't go, you got to ask yourself, okay, well, has my opportunity come and gone for that catalyst, and do you have a hard stop? to me, that's basically it, because when it's not doing volume and there's no interest in it necessarily down here, then you really are just buying something in a consolidation off a bottom and hoping it can go. It doesn't mean they can't. It happens it does happen from time to time, but just make sure you have yourself an out. Like, it's a penny stock for a reason, and these have been getting their butts kicked for a reason. Like, I wanted Tilray to go today, but I wasn't just long anywhere. That sucker needed to break out. Like, look at the triple top on Tilray. Like, this is a daily chart of Tilray. 450, it's about 452 or so. Was I going long if it broke that yeah, I'm going to take that long breakout, that kind of a level, but it didn't go. It actually went the other way, and I'm now kicking myself for saying, why not respect that for, like, if it doesn't break the high, just short it. You can always reverse. So yeah, you need a catalyst. You need something to get it going, and I don't know what that is for that stock. You can tell me. You probably know more about it than I do, but you need that catalyst. That's why I prefer breakouts for those types of names that have been beaten up. And I would have had Tilray if it had gone, and one day it might break that big level on the daily chart. And when it does, I kind of hope I'm paying attention so that I can get it. I did just take another leg on Snapchat. Like I said, if it consolidates down here, I have to take some out. We just got to 3:30 time of the day there. I was trying to get some Netflix. Probably not aggressively enough there, as I did jump on the 303. Yeah, it's still in this consolidation. And is it just, look at this. So it just rejected. I just want to show you guys, because I just canceled my bid. I'm going to show you guys why.
Oh,
so we just bounced this consolidation in the ES. That's not tight enough for you guys to see. We just bounced this consolidation. Lower high didn't get back into 4,000. And at the same time that happened, like, look at how tightly this is holding, like 304.75. Can't get through 305. So I don't really want to be long here in the middle. Just allow it to stop out. If I'm going to get a long in Netflix, I mean, the market feels like it's trending back down. We just turned red. So I'm going to hold the two shorts and have them pay off. If I get a long, I want it to bounce off here first or break out of here. So whether it breaks out of this, gets above 305, or let's see it bounce off 302. I'm not going to diddle here and just kind of get stopped out if the market continues its trend. I can always just work the shorts that we happen to have.
All right, so just an update there. Again, we got out of a decent amount of it, but Google did break there, breaking through the 200 period. So like we said, a bunch of outs upside, and then out of about half of it for that 5 cent or so hit on that last piece. So that was a good trade. We actually wound up making money on that. So all good for that with Google right there. But we're going to wait to see what happens on that. Okay, so... Oh, okay, that's what happened. Yeah, I was wondering about XL Fleet, NYSE delist notice. So we'll talk about. I mean, it's just gone. That's all. I saw it flash on some news piece there.
Eventually,
like,
that's how it.
There
happens.
There it is, gone. Probably must be on pink sheets.
It's got to go to OTC.
We'll look it up. See where that is.
Yeah,
I don't know.
See if I can
I've been looking to see if there's any volume there. I haven't seen anything. Okay, so what are we gonna do left now? I mean, unfortunately, Henry, fail on Palantir. That continues to make moves to the downside right now. There's Palantir taking out 811, making moves down. So this short that we've had on all afternoon starting to print as we're getting near the end of the day here. So really not too much. Amazon right back down to 99. So we said this could be a level that we want to trust for the long. It looks like it just broke off of that. So Amazon 99 and change, 98.90, that wick bottom there for Amazon against 98.80. So it's very close. That would have been a great trade to probably have to the long side. Brennan, what you got?
That DMRC earlier from S3 Partners was top of their squeezable list. I was going through the rest of the list, and there's a couple of interesting names on it. This one is number 3. Currently, Corsair, which we know of as a potential squeeze candidate because of the short side of things. But also the other one that's kind of interesting, guys, is DWAC is number 5 on that. There wasn't really a move when that came out on DWAC, but worth noting, still short on DWAC as well.
Yeah,
and we know that's, I mean, that is.
Yeah, I'm not that surprised.
To me, I have no hatred towards that call. I mean, that is, the reason why you're long DWAC is for squeeze potential.
Yeah.
I mean,
I can see that. So. That's probably been on the list for a while.
Yeah, I mean, and it makes perfect sense. Did anybody confirm yet? I mean, I hate to keep asking on the chat. Did we ever determine if that announcement for former President Trump is expected tomorrow? We know it's kind of expected. It's just, is it something that we should be looking forward to intraday, after market, before market, something like that? Just wondering if there's any sort of love there for that story, and if anybody has that, because I feel like tomorrow that'd be something that we want to turn to for DWAC.
Because otherwise it's like, well, it's not the end of the world, but it's like
you
you just kind of have DWAC up the whole time waiting for something to happen or have an alert set on it or have stop triggers. It's always cooler when you know, oh, we're expecting something at this time, and then you can really gear up for kind of like an IPO. You don't know the exact time, but you have an idea, oh, we're going to get something opening up on midday. And obviously, it's a trading catalyst. Like, we don't talk politics around here. Whatever you think about it, when DWAC moves, if you're a day trader, you're trading it. That's just what it rolls down to at the end of the day. There's opportunities in both directions, and we're just here to take advantage of them. I might have just... the market just pulled back in here, and before I could even assess whether I really, really love this on pins, pins did give me not the breakout, but the dip. And so I'm going to try to give it back into this consolidation, the lower consolidation at 55s here. But this market really is starting to fall off a little bit. I just started getting filled on Lucid back into the downside as that starts to go.
Tuesday 9.
Remember I talked about Netflix, how I pulled my bid on Netflix. Sometimes the best trades you make are the ones that you don't make. And I was about to take this fill at 303.5 on Netflix and said, you know what, no. It either breaks the channel or I need to see it bounce off VWAP. I'm not just going to sit there and then lose $1.50 as the market's trending into the downside. Well, I did just grab pins, a very similar setup. Instead of canceling that, when I canceled Netflix, I didn't cancel pins. At least I got out of the way of one of them. Brendo?
Just going through a few articles here on this announcement that's supposed to come tomorrow, guys. I have not seen a time yet, but this is CBS News about this Tuesday announcement. And they actually say he'll make a big announcement Tuesday night. So, again, I haven't seen a time other than that, but they're saying Tuesday night.
All right. I mean,
No, that's something.
I'm down for that. I mean, that's good enough for me. I mean, it's just a matter of if it's going to happen in intraday, pre-market, post-market. To me, would be the same. We just wait out for that. And I don't know, man. I mean, politics is not something that we talk about on the show, but I just feel like what I've heard over the weekend, of course, was that the Democrats did a little bit better on the midterms than a lot of people thought. So I don't know if that means that I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Thank you so much to True Trading Group again.
Yes, sir.
Sponsor again for the after show. A big sponsor for us, man. They've been sponsoring the morning and the afternoon. I want to give a big thank you to you guys as well. And there it is, man. There's the 50 free trading memberships. So memberships to our show. You can become a member as well. It's $5. And again, it's just that's the only thing that we charge for. So keep the stream going. It doesn't really, but it's just nice to have some memberships. There are some benefits as well, including just some funky little. What do they call those things? Not emojis.
They're like
things.
Avatar?
Avatar, yeah.
It's not an avatar.
I think their faces are avatars. It's more kind of like what's beside it right there. We got to change these because we used to have some cool things there. But again, now we just have some different colors highlighting everybody's name there. True Trading Group is the man. What's up, Lee Trevino there? Nice wedge game. Okay, let's just keep on going.
Oh, yeah.
There's Palantir to the bottom again. So this has been a good name for me and for hopefully for you guys as well as we've been on Palantir today. There we go. We just get a couple fills there. We're on some inverted gateways there. So when it prints, we pretty much get them all at those levels. I don't mind paying a small fee to get a fill here on Palantir, just for it to dance around. It's better to get in and out on this name and not worry about it. So we're going to do that on Palantir. So there's another out for us as it's just the low of the afternoon right now. So, definitely worth taking some profit on that. The only name we have is that short. Stopped out of pretty much everything else.
You know what you just got me thinking about?
Meta was a good trade. Want to try to go long. What were you thinking about?
No, because you keep mentioning Palantir, and I'm like, oh, when does Snowflake? Because Snowflake doesn't report till the end of the month. I think literally the end of the month is when they report, and it's had an unreal last couple of days. I mean, obviously the market's made a bounce, but look at this, 125 and a 160 double top on Snowflake, well in advance. Oh man, shoot, I wish I had seen this maybe like 20, 30 minutes ago. Whenever it actually got to this high, but if it's still up here tomorrow, look at that, like 160 to 162 is sort of begging risk to reward as the market doesn't really hold up. That market looked pretty strong at one point this morning, right? So for that not to hold up, if Snowflake is still up here, when you're making that big of a move in 2 sessions, I am going to look for an opportunity, risk to reward, to be shorted, and this is on my radar. So I'm going to count me in to watch this one tomorrow. Look, if it gaps down, then maybe there's nothing there. Like if it's down at 152, maybe I don't like it. But as long as we're up here in that 160 range, I'm going to like this one to the south side. I got into pins. I'm going to go with an even tighter stop than I was thinking before. I don't even know if I want to let it get past this 260 by much. I'm way too far out in front of that 2450. At 340, there's not a lot of time here. I'd be tight. If I had been holding this trade from earlier, I'd be tightening the stop. So the fact that I got in here, the market doesn't care when you got in or what price you have, only what it's going to do next. And with limited time for this to bounce back to the high, I'm going to go with tighter stops all the way around. Same thing with Lucid. Same thing with Snapchat, which is now starting to come back in. So probably a good decision to get another leg out. I'm not going to add to this Snapchat. If it rolls over again, I'm going to catch more bids in front of this 1120, and then I'm going to have a break-even stop. If it cannot hold beneath this 1130, I don't need this breaking all the way back up to like VWAP on me. The better trade, I think, would have been to short the consolidation, but I wanted that low of the day break, so I waited for the low of the day momentum break on Snapchat. But if you just took it pretty much when Brendan first gave the news on that consolidation, you're in almost 10 cents better than I got it.
What was the news on Snapchat?
It wasn't news. It was just he basically brought it to us on the volume. It was like a technical breakdown. So it hit one of my scanners on Trade Ideas as well, but it was just a technical volume breakdown, and then retesting some of those lows here. Then it consolidated off the low. And the thing is, when you get like a volume breakdown like this, a lot of times if it's a real, like, what's the word I want to use? Like kind of like a flash crash, then it can snap right back up and you don't want to short the bottoms. But when it fails at that low, sometimes it's worth it to grab it in the consolidation. There you're 35s risking 40s instead of me shorting 30s risking back to 35, 36, right? Like, it's the same kind of setup. You just get 5 cents better. I waited for the bottom to break, but you could have just shorted it right here and then maybe not worry about a break-even stop like I am.
Okay, yeah. I didn't think there. I was looking for some news because that was like I was waiting for that meta news to drop. But good call on the volume. I mean, volume is news, right? So that's good to see that come through for those guys. DraftKings still sub 15 right now. Amazon sub 99 right now. Apple. I mean, I have no trades on Apple today, which is kind of funny. Normally we would be.
Yeah, I got nothing.
I just missed that though. 150, 150.20, 150.30 there, something like that to come through for that level, 150.30 here on Apple. Just pointing towards something there for us on Apple. Let's see if it does come through there. I mean, I'm not going to trade it today, but 150, a pretty interesting level. The market and Apple today tied to itself right now. SoFi breaking lower. PayPal's at $90. That's kind of an interesting level as well for PayPal. Something to consider. Maybe more for the longer term side of things here. They do have that recent deal with Amazon. We've talked a little bit about those guys coming through and possibly putting out a nice little trade heading into the holiday season for that. And apparently the Venmo and all that's going to be set up and ready to go for Black Friday is the report that I thought that we got. So we'll wait to see on that one. But there's the nice little bump again. I feel like, unlike Meta, I'm not sure we see the bottom again, but PayPal right there, wow. I mean, we were just a few days ago at $70. So the fact that you're back to 90, like, I own these names, and it's like, man, you just got to sell them sometimes when they make these huge moves up. But that can be hard to do because, you've seen the good old days, right? It's like, are we getting back to that? Probably not. Roblox as well.
I just want to get someone in the chat just pointed this out, and they were saying,
Power.
Yeah, XL Fleet renamed as Spruce Power. So it is. So it is here, SPRU on the New York, and it's trading above.
I mean, I don't know if that's true or not.
I'm looking at this press release.
Brendan just mentioned NYSE delist, so I'm surprised that he didn't come up with that SPRU with a better resource. But there it is, right there.
I'm just looking at this.
That's it. That makes sense.
Wire. XL Fleet's renamed to the Spruce Power change.
So that's the symbol.
I don't know when this happened. Oh, good.
We can just check on the chart.
And this just froze.
SPRU.
And my internet is, I don't know, I'm having internet issues. But yeah, so it looks like that could be the case. Thank you guys for pointing that out. I have to slap a fail. Well, I shouldn't say it. It's not a fail, but as I said, I was kind of concerned that Snapchat could do it. I'd put the break-even stop. I had an opportunity to just get it all out in this consolidation down here. I didn't do that, and then you end up still having to stop out at break-even, losing a cent on the last of it. Sometimes you just get out of Dodge when it's not going any further. I'll hang on to Lucid. That looks like it's okay. Pinterest doesn't even want to do anything for me. So that's literally flat. It's at 66. I'm in at 66. Doesn't want to move. Brendo?
It's all part of the same release, really. It was during their earnings call that all of this came out. So the delist was in relation to the name change, I guess, for the original shares. But yeah, so there it is.
All right, so that's good. Up 5% today. Okay, we'll see. We'll see that wants to do. NVIDIA, go. Ooh, AMD, I guess. We had AMD specific news today, but NVIDIA, I was only looking at it because NVIDIA right now is turning red. on the day, so that's not good. Well, I mean, it's probably turned red before, but I was just noticing, I was looking at it earlier, trying to catch, yeah, I mean, it was red earlier, but here it is right now, for the first time this afternoon right now, going into the red zone right now, back to the downside, 163 looking like it wants to break. Huge move down, man, $2.50 straight, almost, look, we get one little bump up, but a nice little straight line down there for NVIDIA. But this is another name that has really climbed, like 110, 112, up to 170 there. So just continues to make moves to the upside right now for NVIDIA. So, you know, this is another one of those names that we're somewhat concerned about, but still nice upside move there for for NVIDIA. As I was looking at Google as well, because that's also now, I mean, it's been red for a bit, but that name as well starting to make moves to the downside. Look, good thing we got out of that. Now down to 96 right now through it. Made a little bit of money scalping the long before it eventually it broke, but that break again could have triggered us into the short. Right now breaking through 96. As the market was positive for a minute, but not for 2 minutes, because it's downside right now, 11.8. We're not able to hold on the NASDAQ. Only down 0.5 though, doesn't seem that bad. We talked about that earlier. Remember I said today, wouldn't be surprised, and I'm looking back at Tesla for the first time, if Tesla kind of stays down that minus 1.5 to 2%, I mean, that's exactly where it is right now. So kind of never really got a good feel for the day. It's 3:45, we have imbalances out in a minute.
Yeah, that's for sure. And just looking at Netflix now below VWAP, so it is what it is. Obviously, the story this afternoon is going to be not holding on to the shorts long enough. That's definitely going to be the case. But we got to get out. 4 minutes to the imbalances. I'm going to get another like 25s out on Lucid. Just got to do it. Even pins as is. I'm going to have to take. It's just not going anywhere, man. Like it bounces here. It goes against me by about 5 cents. It goes in the money about 5 cents. I'm going to give it one more shot here to push back up. But once we get to 350, you're just going to have to take the trade off. I'll kick myself forever that I short Intel every single day. Every single day. It gets to 31. I had a target of 31, thinking it could get up there, and then just did not short until 31. I did accidentally have a short that I had left in a stop order. If you get in accidentally, I'm just getting out. I have now cleaned up my stops. I don't want that happening again. It would have worked. I could have held on to it, but that's not the way that you play the game. Trading. If you don't want the position, you shouldn't hold on to it. But I should have probably been looking at a 31 short on Intel. I just never got around to thinking it was going to be a good one. That'll kick me in the junk a little bit here. But I do want to make sure I'm holding on to some Lucid. Pins, forget it. Let's just get some out right here, right now. I didn't grab that Etsy trade, but that was it's like Netflix. I get it. It's a strong stock. But when you go to the daily chart, the reason I would have liked that short if I could have got the 123. There's 123 on the daily. You essentially wick topped it and then consolidated lower, short beneath here, too high of the day. First leg out, 21.5. That's about a buck to $1.50. Good risk to reward, and then you can be holding on to that trade. It's just a setup type of play. Like it's not about Etsy per se or Netflix per se. It's what the market was doing at that 4,000 level and off the highs, and then a couple of stocks that were really far extended that gave you a good setup off a resistance level. That's a notion of what you look for as a bit of a day trader. But I didn't actually grab Etsy. As I said, I'm taking some pins out there. And is it Momo that keeps asking about Moderna? I'll bite. Moderna here. Ever since earnings a few days, it's been crazy. I don't know that it's crazier. I mean, we just showed you NVIDIA the last couple of days.
That's been crazy.
I showed you Snowflake the last couple of days. This is it's a good move up on Moderna. But I mean, the last 2 days, I think other stocks have been crazier. If you're count since that earnings day, yes, it's absolutely insane. It's like 33%. I know I was short it multiple times that day. Thankfully, I was at least patient and not shorting it all the way. I picked my spots with it, but sometimes I got to get away from going counter trend on a stock when I got a thesis on it and just wait for it to really make a top. But this is starting to give it back in. And is another name. It's setting itself up for a pullback. And so I'm going to come in tomorrow thinking about this and Snowflake for some shorts because the way the market's coming back in here today, I'm kicking myself for not being a little more confident with some of the shorts that we had. And I think there's some pretty good setups for tomorrow. Snow, Moderna, even NVIDIA a little bit up there I think makes some sense to me. They do report, so we are waiting for NVIDIA to report this week as well.
Yep. A minute to go. So a lot of good names to go here. If you're just joining us for the first time, we do have the market on close and balance indicator going. I have something very important to tell you. Brendan said it is an amazing 12, that's accurate, 12 million to buy. So was it buy? Doesn't matter. Sell. Who cares? Sell right now. So that is right. It is a sell. So
offset that with one order.
I take that back. But yeah, nothing right now for us to really do in the space. So let's just wait to see what happens here. In 45 minutes, these are going to populate. And when they do, so right now they're all from 9:30, you can see. And when they populate, it'll say 350. And then we'll get some movement. Still Palantir with a sell from the morning. That doesn't matter. That will get taken out. And just quickly here on Palantir, because it's the only position that we have left right now, is this move to the downside. So we're going to have to wait to see here where Palantir goes. We are out of the majority of these trades down here at 10. Unfortunately, it didn't get any better for us than 10, but we're short at 19. So like Neil said, we'll take 1% on this name. Wish it was a little bit more, but now with only 10 seconds left, I feel like we missed an opportunity shorting Rivian. We'll get back on Rivian tomorrow. All right, 3, 2, and uno. So let's see right here. Pfizer with a little bit of a sell. We'll click on it just to see what's happening with Pfizer. I feel like in 20 million shares, this is probably not that big of a deal, but the chart right there, so nice little bit of a tick down. What else here? Intel, Neil was just talking about that. We can look at that. Google as well. These charts are just taking forever to load here on my minute chart. Intel with a sell, kind of just bumping around. Amazon, though, with a buy. So let's just zoom in a little bit for the charts now so we can get a little bit of a better look. There's the Amazon bid right there starting to go back up. Again, another big shout out to True Trading Group. Thank you so much for the super chat, for the 50 free memberships. You guys can definitely go find them after the show. Click that link on our chat. Amazon, MRVI, Google, I guess. I trade with the L, so the price doesn't really matter, but let's just see what's happening right now to Google. There it is. Look at that, a little gap higher there. So about a 20-cent bump up based on that news. Ours will fill in once that minute is done. So you can see we're all the way up there, and there's where we were a minute ago. That's about it. Nothing for me, that's overly exciting. I'd like to see them up here in the hundreds of thousands. And we just went over that. MTG, Intel, Google, Western Union, I guess, right there for 13 bucks. That's not big enough name. But there's Pfizer with the biggest sell, but it's actually not doing anything.
Yeah, not a heck of a lot. I was looking at some of these names too. Like Intel really didn't even budge. I know I was trading it earlier. Why is it still on Verizon? I was having a look at Verizon. Yeah, but actually, if anything, it bounced 10 cents or so. So it is 350 has hit. I'm going to get another leg out of Lucid because it is running out of time for it to go. Not the biggest move overall. Flip to Lucid here, but it just keeps on holding this 25. I really did think we'd get to the low of the day, and I want to give it a chance to go. So I'm going to leave a couple of bids in there. Just keep tightening up the stop every couple of minutes to trail it back in. Right now, I'm trailing it to 12.30. I'll probably, if that gets down to 20s, I'll trail it to 25, probably every 5 cents, working it into that downside. Did have to get out of pins. I said it runs out of time to go, and I would tighten the stop. So, it's relatively strong. I didn't mind taking the shot on the dip buy. The dip buys weren't all that fantastic. If you looked at Netflix, I originally favored a similar dip buy in Netflix, gave you the reasons why I wanted to get away from that, said, look, either it needs to show me the bounce off VWAP or break out at 305. Sometimes you got to just listen to what the market is telling you, and it was telling me that we should have just held on to more shorts and not been looking for so many dip buys on said long position. So it is what it is. That's going to happen to you. I know that saying is a little bit old. I'll kick myself for not just shorting Apple at 150. I like Netflix a little bit better. Could have definitely had them both. That wick's going to be a bit ugly, but I think we can come into tomorrow. I talked about Moderna. Ooh, that wick's there as well. I talked about Moderna and Snowflake, but if I look at Apple here, I know this is just kind of the overall market. The 50 period on Apple is kind of buried right in here at that 150 level, so you are rejecting the 50. And if we do start getting a pullback after this impressive 2-day rally we've had, you can do worse than shorting things at the 50 period. I'll give you another, and this is actually in the chip space. This is Marvell. This is going to close basically almost flat, as it's now 2 days in a row rubbed up against the 50 period and rejecting it. So if this rolls over, I said I almost liked it today. I don't know, like if I didn't catch it at the open, which I didn't get it at the open, I wasn't willing to chase it. But I'll look for this one to be shorting off of these highs as well, kind of like NVIDIA's in that same spot. Only this looks gorgeous, rejecting the 50 period. So add Marvell to that list of stocks that I'm looking for the shorts in tomorrow. But this is Momo was asking this in the chat. Just because you're looking for a short setup, and I'd favor shorting these stocks, doesn't mean you just come in and short whatever happens. Like Marvell could gap up to $45 for some reason that I can't think of tomorrow. It doesn't automatically mean I'm going to short the stock. And I'm just going to look for a short setup in and around this 43 area that it's trading at. It could gap away from that, and then my trade is going to be off at that particular point.
Yeah, exactly. So these are just trading ideas and things that we're looking for. It's same as a sticky note, right? Like those ideas, the ideas will stay the same, but levels will change and things like that as we go. So let's just, exit. Oh, there we go. Just getting some more fills here as we go on Palantir because it's the only name that we have left on board. We always get a little bit of a refresh here at 55. Amazon's still a buy. So this is, I don't know. It turned itself around though. Nice little move to the downside as the NASDAQ losing steam now. NASDAQ going to the downside. So yeah, not great movement there into the close for the market. Intel, I mean, right at this point, it doesn't really matter. We've already seen Amazon go to the downside with a buy imbalance. So market definitely losing steam here into the close. Wow, 11,900 the top, down to 11,700 again. So we did have some nice travel back and forth here, but it feels like we are going to end the day basically right where we started. And I wish we would have shorted the top and long the bottom, but that's exactly what we talked about was going to happen today. You're almost opening at the exact same penny on the futures here that we're closing at almost the exact same area. This is where we opened right there, and this is where we're going to close. So very, very close to the same levels. But so far, so good, man. It's been a good day here for trade. We've got some good shorts on board. We've got some good longs. Microsoft is going to be a name that I'm going to look at tomorrow for relative weakness. We tried some longs, and then it just kept on hitting downside. So we're definitely going to look at that tomorrow. There goes Palantir. Henry right back down here. Going to get some more out and end this one on Palantir. Take our 1% and fly on PLTR. But it's earnings time as this market is going lower, lower, lower right now, Brendo.
Yes, absolutely. Still some interesting ones to get through this week. As we said, the retail sector in focus coming up tomorrow. We get PPI first, and then we get retail sales data. PPI tomorrow, by the way, 8:30. Then we get retail sales later in the week. But here's what is to come for earnings tonight and tomorrow morning.
Yes, sir. We're going to get we get the gambit of all of those retail names, right? So starting with Walmart and Home Depot. And then Rumble. It is, Rumble before the morning. Let's Ginkgo Bioworks. Anyway, so it's not Ginkgo Solar, but Rumble's going to be one that I think we got to watch out there. There was something else on there that I remember. It wasn't Krispy Kreme. I thought there was something else that we
I was talking about New Bank.
It was
New
Bank.
Holdings.
Oh, it is
in the top right. So that's another name.
Am I blind?
I might be getting there, getting old. How
did I miss that?
I don't know. It's there. What else is there? Walmart. Walmart's going to be a good one. I really like Walmart and Home Depot. Those opportunities to trade tomorrow. So we'll probably be playing most of those. Here's New Holdings again. Been kind of blah. Again,
what happened to Walmart at the?
I don't know. Can get going. What is Walmart?
Look at Walmart. At the
Remember, Walmart is tomorrow, right? So let's look at Walmart quickly here.
It's dumping. Well, the market's dumping.
Yeah, the market is really losing steam here, down to the downside here. So there goes Walmart right now as well. Yeah, this kind of looks like the mall, man. Palantir's just shot down as well. Nice little move down to 139 and change. So there we go. Taking some out as we continue to move down. So there it goes, 138.80, 139, making some moves to the downside. So nice job for Walmart there. We'll see what happens tomorrow, man. It's been a nice move up. I'm out of everything. I'll double check. I don't believe I have any more Walmart, but we had a nice move down. We'll wait to see what they have to say. It's going to be about the guide as we got to see where retail belongs right now.
Yeah, that's going to be key. Like, whether you trade it or not, retail is a good litmus test for the overall economy and demand there. It's 28, 358 issues, 28, 358. So I'm going to get all out of Lucid. Doesn't look like it wants to go to the low of the day. It got halfway there. So we got to 1220 on Lucid. We'll get out of that one. But yeah, the retail is going to be a big trade. Rumble as well. I don't think we want to be ignoring that. Look what happened to Rumble when it rolled over at the close here. Wow, that was probably a pretty good consult. You know what? The thing about looking at a chart like this and getting a bit of regret is just about everything that was relatively weak gave you a rollover trade breakdown toward those lows. So, there was pretty much anything you could have shorted. That's what I got out about being frustrated not holding on to too many shorts and should have had more of them. But Rumble down 10% going into the report. And look where it's situated too. Like $11 has been pretty significant support. And beneath there, you have a huge floor if this wants to go to the downside. And it's got obvious resistance at 14. So this is going to set up and give us a trade to be sure. Less than a minute to go here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you, of course, to True Trading Group giving those free memberships out to everybody. But hey, take a second, hit the like, hit the like. It's been one of these days where I think we learned a lot in the afternoon trading. I can tell you right now, what we're able to do, looking at some of these tops and navigating how you could have looked at a strong stock and got those shorts and how to hold on to them better next time, at least for myself. Netflix, Etsy was a good one as well. Hopefully somebody got that one. Moderna sets up pretty well tomorrow, Snowflake. And we have a lot of opportunities we're able to sniff out here today. And it's going to be an exciting day of trading tomorrow, not just because of PPI, but a couple of notable earnings out there. And do not sleep on the chips. We do get NVIDIA this week as well.
Yep. All right. So with only 30 seconds to go right now, we do have an out there on Palantir, and it should be a good little end of the day if you're a bear, because the market continues to make new day lows, it looks like right here on the NASDAQ. So pretty close to it anyways, touching the bottom of the day with only 15 seconds left to go, man. It's going to be a good one. I'm off on Friday this week, so I got a short week, but really happy to be here right now. Let's see where we go. With only 5 seconds left, here we go. It's bell ringing time, baby. 3, 2, and 1. All right, there we go. I want to thank True Trading Group for the sponsorship as well for the closing show there, the closing 30 minutes. Thank you, True Trading Group. Make sure you check those guys out on the daily. But yeah, what a great move downside there as the NASDAQ basically bouncing now, but goes right back to the lows despite the first 10 minutes or so. Right back to the lows down there, 11,700. So should be really, really good, man. What am I doing Friday? I know we have a bunch of plans on Friday, so that should be a lot of fun. Oh, I know what it is. There's like mini Canada. Have you heard of this thing? It's right by the Eaton Center, so it's mini stuff. So
no, I know it.
Yeah.
So it has a name though. It's not.
I have to find out. The wife booked it over the weekend, so that should be a lot of
else.
fun there.
Yeah, the kids will love that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so I
kids will
actually love that stuff too. I love the little intricacies.
I think I've been to it like a while ago.
No, this one's pretty new though. So.
Oh, because there was an old one though.
Yeah.
That I went to as a kid, so I guess it's a different one then.
I don't know. We'll see. I'll regret not being.
Let me know how it goes.
You know, we'll see. Oh, it's gonna go great. Should be a lot of fun. Yeah, that should be fun. The kids want to do that as well. But anyways, yeah, I'll take some pictures and you can find out for that. Okay. Yeah, Brendan, how did we wind up?
It's up and down all day long. It ends down. Pretty much lows of the day here for the NASDAQ. 0.94, as we said, 0.2 for the Dow. Remember, throughout the session, we were seeing a lot of relative strength from the Dow. It ends up finishing in the red when the S&P climbs its way back to the upside. So back and forth kind of day, guys, but pretty red. Bottom end of the board here, 4%. Yeah, I saw crude oil ended the day at the lows, essentially. Both Bitcoin and Ethereum, 3 and 4% again.
I think it's called Little Canada.
Yeah,
I
that
think.
could be.
Yeah, because on Dundas there. So that's or will be. I just put Little Dundas. I want to show everybody what it is, but Little Canada on Dundas. Anyways, okay, we'll get that all. Oh, here it is, right here. So you see some images. Again, we're just taking the kids. So it's just like, you know, like here's little downtown Toronto, and then Niagara Falls, and then Dundas Square, and just a bunch of different things that they have. Like here's some. I don't want to click on it. I don't know what's going to happen, but it just, you go through and it's just, I don't know. We're bringing the kids. It is what it is.
Oh, they have like different ones.
That should be a lot of fun. Yeah, they have like Banff and all that stuff. So Quebec. Yeah, so should be fun. Should be fun. That's what I'm up to. I hope you guys are up to something as well. Should be lots of fun. Yeah, as opposed to big Canada. Yeah, exactly. Canada, pretty big. That's for sure.
It is.
Right there. Okay, man. I mean, a big day, and we're going to wait for some earnings. If anything hits the board, we can go over that right now, but I don't see anything hitting. So, yeah, man. Good day so far. What's the Monday nighter? It's the Commanders.
Oh, dude, it's not who. Like Philly's gonna roll them.
It's 10 points. It's Philly versus.
So I need Dallas Goedert and the Philly defense to trounce Brian Robinson in my fantasy matchup. So it could happen.
Is Robinson? I mean, him and Gibson. Is Gibson?
They're splitting.
Oh, they're splitting.
Yeah, they're splitting carry. So
all right. So
I need Philly
should be a good
Philly
game.
needs to roll him over and throw a TD to Goddard, and I think I'm good.
An NFC East battle tonight. So
it's going to be a blowout.
Yeah, maybe Philly gets their first L, man. There's a couple
Washington?
surprising. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what Heineke has to say tonight. So, okay, guys, for everybody here, thank you to Lucas again doing everything on the board today. So thank you to him. Thanks to Rob, Mark, our whole team, Justin ringing the bell there. Thanks to the Midday Show guys as well. Any closing words there, Brendo, or we're good?
Just reading through a PPI report or expectation for tomorrow. Remember, 8:30, guys, we'll have that for your producer prices.
Good. All right. So some numbers coming out tomorrow. Look, have a great night. Enjoy some football. Hopefully it's not below 0 here as we go outside and get ready to rock and roll. The wife just picked up my sort of overcoat there, so we'll be wearing that hopefully tomorrow. But for everybody here at Trader TV Live, have a good one, and we'll catch you tomorrow. Ciao.